Oh, okay. Let's see. Accept. Accept. Yeah, I don't know. I completely forgot that. Well, I didn't forget. I just didn't realize until just now that Justin was going to be on the line tonight. So he's not doing anything.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was messaging you back, and yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I haven't really done anything today. Like, I've just been so tired. I think tomorrow is gonna be my study day because I got a lot I need to study. I sent you. Did I ever send you the document for the trans discussion?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I've been. Yeah. So you study one thing, I study like five things.
That's why I'm such an expert. A jack
Yeah,
of all trades is a what's the saying? I don't remember.
a master of none, but that's only part of it. Um, but a master of many is better than a master of some, I think, or like there was some actual ending to that. That
Ah, don't tell me that. Ooh, mosquito
or
bite.
it's like no, that's not the right thing. It's like hold on, now I gotta look up the rest of that.
I think this go around, I'm just gonna have only you as a friendly on, because I think as soon as I start bringing a bunch of friendlies up, it makes people not want to come up and talk.
Oh, it's jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. That's the full phrase.
It's like it's very similar to that one saying: the customer is always right in
On
regards to
the
taste and
matters of
preference.
taste. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse
the
gets the
second
cheese.
mouse gets the cheese. Yeah,
Why are
you'd
we
be
so
surprised.
weird?
I don't know. You'd be surprised how often people don't understand the second mouse gets the cheese joke. Hey everybody, make sure to tap that screen. And let's get some guests in here so we can talk about the Bible. We have Truly Gabriel 42. Truly Gabriel, I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
Yep.
I ask these to all my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yes.
Question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
I think there's truths to it. I wouldn't say I'm just like the Bible is the one truth. Sure.
All right. And what are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I believe in the Bible?
Okay. So I guess it's more or less about whether or not you should believe in it. I'd say that it's a book where you can find a lot of knowledge, I guess you could say. Obviously, this book is during Roman times, right? Which is about 2,000 years old, right?
Part of
Unfortunately,
it.
what we find ourselves doing right now in our everyday life is that we're focused on, unfortunately, a book that is around that time period, 2,000 years old. So what I'm suggesting here is that the ignorance starts when we only focus on 2,000 years of human history, when how old is human history?
200,000.
Right. It's really old, right? In fact, actually,
Are you
the
are you
carbon
trying,
dating is actually incorrect. Human history is actually incorrect in the textbooks.
are you trying to convince us not to believe in the Bible?
Yes.
Because I don't believe in the Bible.
No, yeah, I know, but there is some things to take away.
Is there anything that's in it that I couldn't get anywhere else?
Not necessarily. I feel like if anything, the book really tells you who the
Okay,
actual
well,
people are.
truly, I thank you for coming up, but I'm only really here to talk to people who think that the Bible is true and that I should believe in it. But thank you for coming up.
Ah, I got you.
All right. Anyways, everyone, make sure to tap that screen. Share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends and with your enemies. Let's get the word out so we can have some interesting conversations and see if anyone can convince me to believe in the Bible. I'm working on a different background that's more Jesus centric.
Jesus centric. I don't know why
Yeah.
that's oh, I forgot my music's on.
Create. I need to create a background. Create an image of.
Everybody that's just now joining, tap the screen, share the live. Ian is live right now, so that might be.
Well, if we're lucky, when he'll end it, he'll send an Ian raid. I don't know if I'm quite there. I don't know if I'm quite there yet. Okay. I mean, I've been on a live with him, so there's that.
Right.
With them. Let's see. I did make Blitz laugh on the live yesterday because I told the joke that about Jesus cannot be born in 2 different decades, and I said unless he crawled back up into his mama's vagina and was born a second time. That got him to chuckle. Let's see. Because it's the only book in history that's 100% facts, dude, I don't think you've read the Bible because it definitely is not 100% facts. There are lots of historical and scientific errors in it and even contradictions. So it cannot be 100% facts. Smelly cat, what are they feeding you?
What are you singing?
It's Phoebe's song.
Really? Where did you come up from?
Yeah, Billy, if you're so confident that the Bible's 100% true, come up and let's talk about it. What have you got to lose, my Sunday mornings, to start? Alright, we have Adam.
Hello, bro.
Adam, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yeah, I've been living since a long time, bro. 42.
Alright, question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
No.
Okay, sorry, but we are only taking guests up who want to convince me that the Bible is true.
I want to be.
But thank you for coming out.
The abruptness.
For some reason, and I maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but I have a lot of Muslims who want to come up and talk to me about the Quran when this has nothing to do with the Quran. And also, I don't want to believe in your pedophile prophet.
Right. Yeah, I'm starting to collect documents about that too.
About him being a pedophile prophet?
Well, not that, just specifically about the contradictions in the Quran. They have a lot of the Talmud. They have a lot of hadiths. They're
Joker says, why do you feel it's not real? Because it has historical and scientific inaccuracies and contradictions. It's as simple as that.
Every time I put on my glasses, I forget how blind I am. Jesus.
No, wouldn't you putting on your glasses remind you how blind you are?
Yeah, that's what I said. It reminds me how blind I am. I'm like, oh, I can see that.
He said, it makes me forget how blind I am.
Oh, sorry. I mean, reminds.
Lots of things you still believe. What?
You know.
Lots of things you still believe do know?
Those are words in an order.
I think you might need to rewrite your question.
Everybody tap that screen and share out the live. We're trying to get people in here who think that we should believe in the Bible and tell us why. Remember, tapping is clapping, sharing is caring. If you don't tap that screen and share the line, God will smite you like he did Onan.
Dr. Joe, thank you for sharing the live. Dennis says, do you believe the Book of Grimm, too? Also a big book of fairy tales. I don't believe in the Book of Grimm or the Bible.
Are people having trouble reading today, or did you change your background and I can't read? What's going on?
Claire said, "What happened to Justin? Justin is not doing his live today. He's gonna be on the line later tonight." Let's see, Corpse Man. Thank you for sharing the live. Oh, we got someone in the box. Let's see. We got Jason. Jason, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask of every single one of my guests. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yes, I'm much older.
All right. Question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
No.
Well, we're only talking to people who believe in the Bible, but
You're not open to other views and opinions?
No. The whole point of this live is for people who believe in the Bible to try to convince me that the Bible is true. All right, we got Tavo.
So sorry.
Tavo, question number 1: are you at least 18 years old or older?
I'm 21.
Question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
Finally. Question number 3: what are your pronouns?
The regular ones.
The right ones for who?
Me. What you mean?
What's a fake pronoun?
What's a fake pronoun?
Yeah.
Guy.
I mean, you could probably make that a neo pronoun.
What pronouns do you go
What's
by?
a neo
person,
pronoun?
Tavo?
You talking about like, oh, he, him. Y'all talking about that.
He, him. All right. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I believe in the Bible?
Are you at least agnostic?
Say what?
Are you at least like agnostic?
I'm an agnostic atheist.
So, so you're leaning towards, there's no God.
I believe I don't believe in any gods.
There's
I mean,
there's some gods we know definitely don't exist if we're going by the
So
text.
is the Bible questionable to you? Like you're
Very much
agnostic.
so.
I'm saying like we can talk about that later. But like
The Bible's definitely not true.
you said not true?
Definitely not true.
How is the most researched piece of literature ever the world have ever seen not like
Yeah, that's how we know it's not true, because it's been like the most researched. Like we've researched it enough and found it wanting for truth.
What do you mean? How is it not true though? So hold on. So you realize all these people are like actual people, right?
Not all of them. Some of them,
I mean,
yes,
yeah,
not all of them.
Some of them, like most of them though. Like John,
No,
Matthew,
well,
the 12 disciples definitely were real.
Abraham-
Paul definitely was real.
Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Joshua. We don't have any good reason to think that any of them existed.
I mean, but when you look at King David, you see there's a good chance that they existed too.
It's probable that King David existed, but did he do the things written about him in the Bible? Probably not.
I mean, okay, so you saying, okay, do you believe these people existed though? Do you
Some
believe
of them.
do you believe Jesus existed? That's the most important part.
I slightly lead towards yes, although I'm researching.
I mean,
it
you
more
really
right now.
can't look towards no, like because there's too much.
You can.
There's too much to know.
There
Like,
are-
do you believe Julius Caesar existed?
Caesar, yeah. We have coins with his
okay.
face on it. We have letters written.
So you
from
believe
the Greeks
Jesus?
by the Caesar.
There's more.
There's not.
Yes, it is.
There's not more. There's not more evidence for Jesus.
There-
That's a common.
there's more.
that's a
No,
com-
there's more people. There's more books.
There's a common evangelical tactic to say that there's more evidence of Jesus of Nazareth than any person in history. That's not true. Not even close to being true. And also, the number of manuscripts of
I'm
the
saying
New
that
Testament
Caesar, not
doesn't
history.
make it more true. The
It's
number
more.
of
It's
manuscripts
more than
of the-
Caesar.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I can show you.
Do we have any coins from the time of Jesus bearing his face on it?
No, we don't.
Do we have any writing works from Jesus?
What? Yeah. Well, any what?
Do we have any works from Jesus and stuff, like declarations from Jesus?
What do you mean declarations?
Like, like for example, the Caesars would make declarations and edicts and send it out into all the empire. Do we have anything from Jesus himself like that?
The church.
No, I didn't
The
ask if we have anything from the
Yes,
church.
sir.
I asked if we have anything from Jesus himself.
Like from Jesus. I mean, the church wouldn't exist if it weren't for Jesus.
You're not answering the question I'm asking you. Do we have any declarations from Jesus himself from this time?
What's the
Then you'll
declaration?
think for the heart. Like a statement from him, written like someone's like he's dictating to someone, and someone is writing down in real time what he says and then sending it out to people.
Isn't that like the yes? Ain't that like Galatians and Corinthians?
No, no. Galatians and Corinthians were written decades after Jesus died by someone who never met
Yeah, but
Jesus.
this-
Never heard that claim.
Yeah.
I mean, Galatians and Corinthians was rules. No,
But
written by
not
Paul.
not dictated to Paul by Jesus himself. No.
Oh no, then no, there isn't.
Okay.
There's no like contemporary evidence for Jesus,
Yeah.
but Cyril,
But why you lean towards yes
he
though?
lived. Yeah,
Why do you
well, I'm
lean
just
towards
Well, Ashland, speak.
yeah,
Oh, my
like
bad.
there are Cyril, Solidus. There's a ton of people for contemporary evidence of Caesar. Just to let you know, like there's so much of it of people that lived and interacted with him, and there's plenty of letters and speeches that corroborate him. But and these are contemporary, meaning they lived during his time period and they would have like met or interacted with him, or at least people during this time period. But there's none, absolutely none for Jesus.
Yeah, only works
yeah,
about
like,
him written after
you
his
gotta-
death.
I mean, you gotta like look though, because
Could you
Jesus.
provide me with-
Caesar was a king and Jesus was a prophet, so it's kind of like
I've
They're gonna
looked.
have
Yeah,
different
so we
things.
which is why
We both
which is why
have
we-
the complete works of Josephus. We've looked up Tacitus. We've looked up Pliny. We've looked up like all of these people. We're very familiar with this argument, or we wouldn't be having it.
Yeah, the fact that Jesus was a prophet and Caesar was the emperor is why we have more evidence for the existence of emperor than Jesus. All we have are the Gospels and the epistles, and we have and that's pretty much it.
okay, but like, why do you lean towards yes though?
Because we have one writing about Jesus of Nazareth from a first century historian decades after his death, and that pretty much, and also Paul mentions that he knew the brother of Jesus. So we would lean towards, yeah, Jesus was a real guy, but was he the Messiah, the Son of God? No, there's no evidence to support that.
Why do you say that?
Because he didn't fulfill a single prophecy about the Messiah in the Hebrew Bible.
What's wrong with? I mean, he did, son of David, born of a virgin. Those
Nope.
are prophecies.
Born of a virgin is not a prophecy in the Hebrew Bible.
Yes, it is. Hold on, I can show you.
Yeah.
In the Old
No.
Testament?
Nope, yeah, not in the Old Testament. If you're going to point to Isaiah 7:14, it actually doesn't say the Messiah will be born of a virgin in the original Hebrew.
And that is the one where chapter 8 says that the child was born after this. I was
Yeah.
reading something earlier, so I thought you said 7. So yeah, literally at that next chapter, that child that you're talking about is actually born.
That's a different child.
What
actually.
chapter am I talking about? What chapter am I talking about?
That is
So
a
in
different
Isaiah chapter 7, it specifically says the woman who's pregnant, and which means that there is already a woman who is pregnant, which is the reason
Yeah.
she gives birth in the next chapter.
So the Hebrew word for virgin is betula. Betula is not found anywhere in Isaiah 7:14. It gets translated as virgin, a virgin shall conceive in your Bible, but it doesn't say that in Hebrew. It says hine, or behold, ha'alma hara, the young woman is pregnant. And ve'yoledet ben, and she'll have a son. Ve'kirat shemo Emmanuel, she will call his name Emmanuel. So, first and foremost, no mention of a virgin. And it doesn't say that she shall become pregnant as if it's a future event, but rather she is pregnant. So, in its original language and context, this is not about the Messiah, and it's not about a virgin birth.
So in chapter 8, you think Emmanuel was born?
No. Apparently not. I thought
That's a different kid. Maher-Shalal al-Hashbaz. Emmanuel, Maher-Shalal al-Hashbaz, and Shear Yashu were 3 kids of the prophet Isaiah.
Why am I getting the same child when I'm pulling up when I looked it up? I'll talk to you later about this.
Yeah.
So you know Matthew 1:22, right?
Yeah. Matthew is reading from the Septuagint translation of Isaiah 7:14, and when he sees the Greek word parthenos, which in classic Greek could either mean young woman or virgin, it was used either way. But by the time you get to the time of Jesus, it becomes a bit more narrower and means virgin. So the author of Matthew is reading the book of the prophet Isaiah in Greek, and he is just mistakenly thinking that it's talking about a virgin, when if he would have read the original Hebrew, he would have known better. So it's just a dupe on the a dupus act on the part of the author.
So Matthew is wrong.
Yes, the authors of the New Testament are often wrong about what the Hebrew Bible actually says.
Often. So he was just making up his own translation.
Well, he was mistaken. He read a passage from Isaiah, and he saw a particular word in
Yeah, it
Greek,
was in the Greek
which in
version,
his
right?
time. Yeah, he
So
was
there's
reading the
a
Greek.
so there's a
Yeah,
Hebrew version of the same text.
Yeah, the original Hebrew says the young woman is pregnant, and he was reading a Greek translation that said the Parthenos is pregnant, and he thought Parthenos meant virgin, when in the time that the Isaiah was translating the Greek, it meant young woman. And also, we don't know who the author of Matthew is. That's another important thing caveat to take.
So why did they translate it wrong though?
Because the author of Matthew just was mistaken in his Greek. By the time of the 1st century, Parthenos went from being a broad term, which could mean young woman or virgin. In the 1st century, it took on the very definite meaning of virgin. And so he was just reading an older Greek text, thinking that the authors who translated it meant one thing, when in really it meant another thing.
So which one was wrong, the Greek or the Hebrew?
The Greek is wrong. You would take the original Hebrew over the Greek translation. The original is always going to be more accurate than the translation.
I mean, what's the difference though? So like the
difference is
wouldn't it still
one
be
says
virgin though?
No, one says virgin, one says young woman. A young woman could be a virgin or not a virgin. She could be pregnant or not pregnant. And the original Hebrew specifically says not that she shall conceive, as if it's speaking about her conception in the future, but rather she is pregnant or she has conceived. And she's already, whenever Isaiah gave this prophecy, the woman that he's talking about was already pregnant. And that was 700 years before Mary.
Okay.
So why should I believe the Bible?
I mean, nothing in it is true. Why should you believe the Bible?
You know what? W to that statement. Looks like there's no. Do you have any? Do you? Is this the end of the conversation, or do you have any
Probably
reasons for me?
Because
Right.
I can't find a rebuttal. I have one, but just can't find it right now.
Well, come back when you have it. But thank you for coming up, Tavo. Let's see. They always have a rebuttal, but it's never on hand. All right. Now we have 4K trade data, or data. 4K. I'm going to have to, for question number 1, are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
I believe in the Bible.
Question number 3, what are your pronouns?
Us.
What is that's no, that's not. What are your third person pronouns?
That's a difficult because I could identify with a bunch of stuff. I could say he, I could say us, I could say it, I could
When
say
people
him,
refer to you in the third person, how do you like them to refer to you? Do you like them to call you he, him, she, her, or they, them?
he, him.
There you go. I'm Dalton the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I?
I could understand your standpoint, because if you don't believe in one part of the Bible, then why should you believe in any of the Bible?
Yeah, so why should I?
That's your choice.
It's not a
You could,
choice.
it is your choice to believe or not to believe.
No, beliefs are not choices. You're either
You
convinced
could
that
change. You could change your
no,
belief, right?
yeah, but my changing of my belief is not based on an active choice that I'm making.
Well, you could.
The way that choices are the way that beliefs occur in the mind is that you are either convinced that something is true based on the evidence, or
Okay.
you're not convinced based on the evidence. And I'm not convinced, therefore I have no choice but to not believe.
You're not convinced because you don't have enough information. And if you did have enough information, then that could be persuaded, right?
I would say I am not convinced because I have a lot of information, and that information demonstrates the Bible's unreliable.
What information do you have?
The Bible contains scientific errors.
Like what?
Like, for example, what shape is the Earth?
Can you repeat that?
What shape is the Earth?
Shape is the earth. I haven't fully seen the earth, but I'm told that it is a spherical shape.
Yeah, because we have actual like photos and videos and hard data to support that. But
Who's to say that that is not propaganda?
the
Like,
evidence.
why would some people believe that
What
the
would
earth
be the point?
is like
What
flat,
would be the
or it's
point?
more like a
What would
shape
be
like a
what would be the
contact?
point? What would be the point
What would be the point of what?
of lying about the shape of the Earth?
Because we're really in a dome, and they want us contained and don't want us to know, so they could feel like they
Why?
know. You know what
Who's they?
propaganda?
Who's they?
The powers that be.
Can you prove that these powers that be exist?
Yeah, because do you know what propaganda is?
Yes, I know what propaganda is, but can you prove
Oh,
that these unknown persons actually exist?
well, the same powers that be that provide and spew propaganda are the same ones,
The
are the
Trump
same powers that exist.
the Trump administration?
Yeah, or not Trump administration per se,
Yeah, they're
but
the ones in power.
they
So
are
they're the
also
ones.
there's also
So
people
they're the ones. They're
in
the ones in
power.
power. So you're making the
Trump
claim
is.
that the Trump administration is trying to keep us from discovering that there's a dome over us.
You're the one who projected Trump administration. I wasn't pertaining to the Trump
They're the
administration,
ones in
but
power.
Wait, 4K, do you think there's an ice wall?
I can't confirm nor deny it.
The American education system has utterly fucked
It's
us
not fail.
over.
How can you know that unless
It has
you've been
utterly
there?
failed us. It has utterly failed us. No, you don't have to actually fucking go somewhere in
To
order
know
to
it,
know
why
that
not?
place exists. No, because we have video footage,
Of what?
photographic footage of the Earth,
Please,
and
there
we
are
know it's
people
not
who have been
tampered.
to Antarctica. And
Okay,
like
Yeah.
well,
you can go
people
to
say,
Antarctica if you have enough
have people
money.
been certain parts of Antarctica?
Yes,
Yes, we
yes.
pretty much
We
traversed
actually
all of Antarctica.
Pretty much.
we recently had the final experiment, which was a group of flat earthers who went to Antarctica to see if there was a 24-hour sun, and sure enough, there was. And now they admitted that they were wrong about the flat Earth. So
I
yeah, we
never,
know for a
I never
fact that
proposed
the
that
Earth.
idea,
We've
but if I were
known
to
we've
entertain
known
it,
we've known that the Earth is round for over 2,000 years,
and how long has the Earth existed?
for 4.5 billion years.
Okay, so they just now figured out, based off of what you just said, only 2,000 years ago. But 2,000 years prior to that 4 billion years,
Jesus,
they
2,000
didn't
years ago,
say
they
that
didn't have.
based off of what you
They
said.
weren't. They weren't concerned with how the Earth looked 2,000 years ago all that much. There were bigger
Why
issues at the
not?
time.
My dude.
Because the
4K, could
world was
you?
constantly at war back then.
Okay,
Yeah,
and we're at war right now, are we not?
No, okay.
We are
I'm
not. We have not been at war since World War II.
I'm not entertaining this conspiracy theory bullshit any longer. 4K, go and open up a fucking book that isn't the Bible.
I don't just look at the Bible.
I will not platform conspiracy theorists on my life. Won't fucking happen.
Man, a flat earther in the big 2025? Ugh,
It's embarrassing.
it really is.
Alright. Alright, we have Truck you. Truck you, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I ask every single one of my guests. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yes.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
No.
Alright, I am only talking to Bible believers today.
Oh, I
But,
thought you believe in the Bible and you were trying. I'm sorry. I apologize.
no, I am an atheist.
Oh, okay. I'm good. Thank you. I'll be listening. Thanks.
Have a good day.
You too.
Alright. We have here Liquidation Nation. Liquidation. Are you at least... Wait, they haven't pulled up. Oh, they disappeared. You could not refute my claim. I refuted your claim several times. You're just an idiot. And as I said, I will not platform conspiracy theory bullshit on my planet. There's enough stupidity in the world without you adding to it. Oh, that's what I'm asking. Do you not have purpose? I do have purpose. 4K, you're an idiot. I'll just call you a name again. It's fine. Like, when you come up on here and start talking about secret cabals and all these conspiracy theories without being able to point to me where these theys are, then I'm just going to have to call you an idiot and move on. Don't bash people because they have different beliefs. That's childish. No, what's childish is believing that the earth is flat. And listen, here's the problem. If we continue to coddle flat earthers, they're just going to persist in their delusions. There comes a point when people are engaging in delusions, and you need to mock them publicly. Public shaming needs to come back. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. You still a homosexual? I've never been a homosexual. Are you still an idiot, Sandfella? I mean, obviously at this point you're obsessed with me, Sandfella. You keep coming back to my lives. I think the only reason you're asking me if I'm homosexual is because you might be interested. But I'm sorry I don't roll that way. What are your pronouns? He, him. Let's see. The earth is flat, but no, it's not. You dumbass, of course. What the fuck is wrong with people today in this modern age? It's only in America. This phenomenon is only in America. Everyone else in the world looks at America like we're white trash lunatics because of this. Justin didn't flake on me, Aaron. Justin has I forgot that Justin is going to be on the line tonight. So he's not doing a show. Let's see. What difference does it make if the earth is round or flat? The difference is whether or not we believe in true things or false things.
Big difference. It also changes all of science.
Yeah, that too. It's kind of hard to fly a plane on a flat earth. Moon is round, sun is round, every planet round. Why would the earth not be round? Yeah.
Make sure you're tapping that
screen, sharing out the live, doing all the things.
Let's see. Of course, it's around people. Yes, Cut Decker. That's very right. Piglet, thank you for the heart. Oh, we got some people in the. Let's see. Oh boy, Sandfella.
Who?
Sandfella, do you actually have a Bible prophecy for me today that actually works?
Lamentations 3.
All right. Let's see. Lamentations chapter 3. What verse?
The very first one.
I, being the writer, I am one who has seen affliction under the rod of God's wrath. He has driven me and brought me into darkness without any light. Against me alone he turns his hand again and again all day long. So yeah, this is the prophet Jeremiah talking, isn't it? Because he uses the first person pronouns. Look, I get it, Sandfella. You have a really hard time. You've demonstrated time and time again you don't understand how pronouns work. But when the author uses first person pronouns, it's referring to themselves.
Well, the author is the prophet Jeremiah.
Yeah, so the I is Jeremiah. This is talking about Jeremiah.
And Jeremiah spoke of parables and also the children of Israel mostly, not himself.
Sure, well, no, he would speak of himself too. And in this instance, he's talking about himself because that's how language works. When you use the first person pronoun, you are referring to yourself.
So this, if you read the whole chapter, it describes the suffering of man, which pictures
Jeremiah.
the suffering of Christ.
No, the suffering of Jeremiah.
Well, the prophet Jeremiah,
like Sandfella, this is just how. Listen, I'm going to save you a lot of time. If you bring me any passage written in first person pronouns, I'm not going to budge on this. It's about the author. I'm simply not going to budge on this. I understand how the English language works, and I don't make special exceptions for ancient books.
well, do you make exceptions for prophetic books that might represent something other than the prophet himself?
No, not if it uses first person pronouns.
For example, if you see all the prophet Ezekiel, excuse me, brother.
Jesus fuck.
If you right now you're blaspheming, but
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ. Fuck the Holy Spirit. Fuck Yahweh. I'll blaspheme all day long. Anyways.
I withdraw myself from your life. You know, someone said.
Yeah,
not
well,
blaspheming.
fine. Fuck off. Fine, fuck off then. You know what they say?
Today.
Yeah. It says on Sandfella, it's just the third time he's come up, he's annoyed the hell out of me. And you know, the Bible says, the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. But the wise man says it out loud. I added that last bit. Let's see. We have Jeff Cragen. All right, Jeff, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old or older?
I am, yes.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
I am, yes.
All right, and what are your pronouns?
I'm a man, obviously.
Okay, but what are your pronouns?
I'm a man.
Okay, but what are your pronouns?
I'm a man.
I didn't ask you what your gender was. I asked you what your pronouns were.
Yeah, that's enough. I'm a man. I mean, if you want any more.
Look, Jeff, if you can't answer the questions I'm asking, I don't know how we're going to have a conversation. Man is not a pronoun.
I don't use that with my gender. I'm just a man.
You just used a pronoun. You said, I don't use that. It's a first person pronoun.
I'm a man.
So what are your third Okay, here, I'll ask you a third question. Because you do understand the pronoun thing. You're just being a huge red flag. Does God have a penis?
I'm a man, so obviously you can put those together, right?
Jeff, does God have a penis?
No, dude, God's spirit.
Okay, is God a biological male?
God is spirit.
Okay, so that's a no. Do you refer to God as he and him?
God is the Father, yes.
Okay, so you do understand that the fact that you call someone a he and him has absolutely fucking nothing to do with what's between their legs. So I'm going to ask you one more time. If you don't answer the question, I'll drop you because I don't need you here. What are your pronouns?
Pride will blind you from the truth. God bless you in Jesus' name.
All right, fuck off. What is with all the idiots coming up here today?
By the way, Dalton, I pulled up a different paper because I had a paper that I was reading on this, and yeah, I think it was peer reviewed, but I don't know. It was just saying something completely different. When I pulled up the consensus of scholarship, and yeah, it said something very different about Isaiah 7. Yeah.
Yes.
It was
So yes,
it was
indeed.
talking about the motif, so it wasn't so what it's saying is like it was figuratively the same child, and I was like, wait a minute.
By the way, I think all the good Christians that got raptured today, because all those shitty ones are the ones that are talking to us. All right, we have
The rapture.
we
Again,
have Papa C. Papa C. Question number 1: Are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yes.
Question number 2: Are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
Question number 3: What are your pronouns?
My pronouns are I don't care. Like literally.
Listen,
I have it on my
Papa,
license.
Papa, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. I don't fucking care if you fucking care. I asked you a question. If you can't answer it, then I'll just move on because I don't need to talk to you. I don't know why it's so hard for y'all to understand pronouns. Did you fucking fail the 6th grade or something? So I'm going to ask you one more time, and only one more time, because I don't give a shit. What are your pronouns? You can unmute yourself. So not only... There you go. What are your pronouns?
Jesus loves you.
Yeah, fuck you. Corpses don't love people.
Hey, do you want cilantro, onion, and tomato?
Yeah.
Do you want the sriracha mayo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, corpses...
Probably hear you. Just
Corp-
hear, fuck Jesus, fuck all this.
Yeah. By the way, corpses can't love anyone. So that's pretty hard for me to believe. Anyways. Man, what
Yeah,
is with
I-
all the 6th grade
mi-
failures today?
The minority view is this, and it's generally considered an older traditional commentator is what I pulled up. But I had a couple papers, but then I looked at the majority view, and they agree with you.
Oh,
And
okay. Yeah, there's 3 kids.
They're-
The first,
yeah,
his first kid did...
yeah, they're that's what they're saying about the 3 kids. But the minority view is saying it's actually the same. Like, it's not actually a kid. It's supposed to like fulfill. It's the fulfillment of it in it symbolically fulfills it according to like tradition.
Oh, well, we know how
Well,
we
we
feel
don't-
about symbolic
Yeah, we
fulfillments
don't
around
we
here.
don't read things into the text. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right.
Uh,
Man, okay, let's see. Do we have any people who want to come up and talk about the Bible that actually understand how the English language works? Let's see. I accidentally called you Dustin the other day. Sorry about that. Oh, you're good. I've been called... The number 1 name I get called, other than Dalton, is Dylan.
I'm gonna start calling you Dylan now.
Don't you fucking dare. Brianna says, forgive them for they know not what they do. No, I know exactly what I'm doing. Pronouns are Christian kryptonite. Yeah, it would seem. Even though I explained, Jeff used a typical male pronoun for someone he doesn't consider to be male, being God. Crazy hypocritical, isn't it? You first have to believe that God is real to believe in the Bible. Your question is dishonest. No, I mean, if you could demonstrate to me that Jesus fulfilled prophecy, that would prove God's real. All right, we got Levi. All right. Levi, 3 questions before we move forward with the conversation. Hopefully, you'll be better than your predecessors and you'll be able to get through these 3 questions. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yes, I am 20.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes, I am.
Question number 3, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
Fantastic. You're the MVP of this live now. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I believe in the Bible?
Well, why do you not? If you don't mind me asking.
Because it is full of scientific, historical errors and contradictions.
What is a contradiction that you can think of right now?
Off the top of my head, the gospel authors of Matthew and Luke give us two contradictory genealogies for Jesus, two contradictory stories about his birth, and then also place his birth at two different decades in history.
Okay. Well, what you're about his birth, are you referring to how they said Mary was she was born from Mary?
No, it's about the fact that, according to the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus was born in Bethlehem during the reign of King Herod the Great, who died in 4 BCE. And then according to the Gospel of Luke, he was born during the census of Quirinius, which was a decade later.
Jess, have you read the Bible, or at least the Gospels? Where are you getting that there's another, like, Jesus was born of anyone other than Mary?
Me?
Yes.
I've heard people like read some false gospels, and get that like
Alternative
information from outside of
gospels.
the Bible.
Yeah, no. We're only talking about.
Technically, all the Gospels are false Gospels, but
Yeah, we're only talking about the ones that like major denominations of Christians use. We're not going to use anything
Got it.
outside of that.
So, okay, like Levi, according to the historical record, when did King Herod the Great rule over Judea?
Oh, sorry, what?
According to the historical record, when did King Herod the Great rule over Judea?
He ruled it.
If you don't know and you're looking it up, you can just tell us that. We can hear you type.
Oh no, I'm texting someone. He ruled.
With a keyboard?
Yes, I am. Discord. I do not remember. No.
So King Herod the Great ruled from 40 BCE to 4 BCE. He died in the year 4 BCE. That's why his rule as king of Judea ended. Now, when he died, his 3 sons, Herod Archelaus, Herod Antipas, and Herod Agrippa, took over different regions of the land of Israel in his place. Specifically, his son Herod Archelaus became the ethnarch of Judea, Idumea, and Samaria. He remained the ethnarch of Judea for 10 years, but he was so shit at his job that the Romans fired him, deposed him, exiled him to Vienna, and after that, the region of Judea was annexed to Rome, and Quirinius was made the governor of Syria, and then he did a census over the people of Judea. According to Matthew's Gospel, Jesus was born during the reign of King Herod the Great. But according to Luke's Gospel, he was born 10 years later, during the time when Quirinius was doing his census. So why should I believe in this Bible?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think I at the moment pose the information like the knowledge on the Bible yet to accurately help make an argument here. So
Sure. How about? Sure. We'll just talk about a bit of theology. According to the Bible, is the Levitical priesthood meant to be forever, or is it abolished because of Jesus?
well, that like depends on how you read it, but it can be seen through like the Old Testament laws and stuff.
Yeah. What does
Like
the
the
text
Levit-
say?
Well, I mean, there are things that did. You can see some things that he did that opposed old beliefs, of that law. That
He didn't do or say anything that was
I
opposed to
wanted.
the law
I,
of
this
Moses.
is my favorite one. This is my
Yeah.
favorite one. You know this.
What do you think he
What?
did against the law of Moses?
Yeah. What law of the Torah did Jesus break in the Gospels?
Well, he didn't not break, but he did like show that that the Jews were taking it too far.
No, he told them the exact opposite. He told them that they weren't being very observant. The whole point of Matthew chapter 23 was that the Pharisees were teaching one thing, but not doing what they were teaching. Like, his whole gripe against the Pharisees was that they weren't keeping the law of Moses to the extent that they were supposed to. Oh. Wow.
Dang it! You know how much I love arguing law because that's the one I'm actually well versed on.
Just so everyone knows, I didn't get rid of him. He just ran for the hills.
I was so excited for once because that one I actually have sufficient knowledge on.
Young boy, Travi. Young boy, I have 3 questions for you. Question number 1. Fuck, these tacos are hot. Question number 1. Are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, for sure. I'm 26.
Question number 2. Are you a Bible believer?
I am, yeah.
Question number 3. What are your pronouns?
You can refer to me as a he.
Alright. I'm Dalton the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I?
Yeah, I guess that's a pretty good question. I wouldn't say you should just believe in the Bible because other people tell you you have to or you should or something bad's gonna happen to your soul. Because how do you know it's true? I would guess I would only tell you to or say like you should believe in it if it was the truth, right? That'd be probably the only reason you should believe in it.
Yeah, I would say that I've done the research and it's not true. That's why I don't believe in it.
I mean, yeah, it seemed to look some stuff up. I've been watching for a while, like a lot of things it seemed like. But okay, so you was just talking about the contradiction, how the genealogies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of them points to Joseph, one of them points to Mary.
No.
Yeah.
Both of them, if we read the Gospels, both Gospels explicitly claim to be the genealogies of Joseph. Would you like to show me where in the Gospels it says that it's the genealogy of Mary?
I can't show you right now until I get back.
Are you driving?
No, my girlfriend driving though.
All right. Well, I mean, nowhere in the Gospels does it ever claim that either of the genealogies belong to Mary. They both say that they're from Joseph.
I don't know. I feel like I'm almost positive. I can look quick, but I gotta hop off the app.
Here, I've got you. I've got it. So, don't leave the app. I won't be able to hear you. I have the Gospels right here. So, the Gospel of Matthew's genealogy ends with the phrase, in verse 15, and Eliud, the father of Eleazar, and Eleazar, the father of Matthan, and Matthan, the father of Jacob, and Jacob, the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who was called the Messiah. So Matthew's Gospel presents the genealogy as being Joseph's. When we turn to the Gospel of Luke, and we read the genealogy therein, it begins by stating, let's see, where are we at? Here we go. There was a prophet. Yeah.
Are you talking about 3:23?
Mm-hmm. There we are. Found it. Jesus was about 30 years old when he began his work. He was the son, as was thought, of Joseph, the son of Heli, the son of Mathat, the son of Levi. So both Gospels present the genealogies as being Joseph's. One makes the claim that Joseph's father's name was Heli. The other makes the claim that his father's name was Jacob. Are you there? If you don't respond, I'm going to have to move on.
Yeah, bro. My bad. So, like, you gotta look at who they were writing for, though, and it makes like the difference. Because like
who they're writing to
Luke is
doesn't
writing.
change
Luke
doesn't
is
change
writing.
the content of the gospel.
What is that? Okay, Luke is writing to mainly like Gentiles, whereas like, what was it, Matthew? Not really just like focus like toward the Gentiles, you feel me? Like, so like with the Gentiles, like,
Look, my dude, if you can't stay on the phone, look, does the gospel say in Matthew that Joseph was the son of Jacob?
does what?
Does the gospel of Matthew say that Joseph was the son of Jacob?
I don't know. You just have to tell me. I don't have my Bible.
The answer is yes. We just read it. We read both genealogies just now.
Okay.
It says in Matthew that Joseph is the son of Jacob, but it says that Joseph was the son of Heli in the book of Luke, and they give two completely different genealogies.
Because it's okay. It's pointing. It's talking about Mary's genealogy, but Joseph is his legal father, even though he's not his biological father.
Then what it should have said
Because
was Jesus was the son of Mary.
Mary's
the daughter. If the genealogy was meant to be Mary's, then it should have had her name in it. That's how genealogies work.
You would think it should, but
yes, that's how genealogies worked in the ancient world.
If you look for Mary's genealogy, though, you're gonna see that
We don't know Mary's genealogy.
This is Mary's line.
We don't have Mary's line or Mary's genealogy.
That's okay, though. But so, I guess the other contradiction you was talking about with the time of his birth, one says about Herod, right? And then the other said, what's his name?
Quirinius.
So if you like look that up, they've discovered like after the fact that the Bible was written and became a collection of books like that.
Look, okay. No offense. No offense, but I don't think you're equipped to have this conversation.
What you mean, bro? Why? I'm telling you a fact right now that he had served multiple times.
No, there's zero evidence that Quirinius
not
has
as the
served.
ruler,
There is zero evidence. No, there is zero evidence of Quirinius serving as governor twice. It says governor in the text of Luke.
It says what's the word? The count he took before he was the rule he was governor. Like it literally says before he was the governor.
Do you have any actual evidence of Quirinius serving as governor of Syria at any other time in history?
They didn't say he was the governor of Syria. They said he was working as like a military officer in Syria.
Okay, then Luke says that the census took place when he was governor of Syria. So again, even if he was an officer in Syria, that would not be correct.
What does it say in Luke? Read it.
Okay. Luke chapter 2, verses 1. It says, in those days a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. Now Quirinius became governor of Syria in 6 CE. Do you have any evidence that he was a governor at any other time in history?
No, just that he was held another position of power in Syria before he was the governor.
Which would be irrelevant because he only did the census while he was governor of Syria. So it's still a contradiction.
Maybe. Once I get to my place, I guess I could like tell you what I'm talking about, but I don't got my stuff with me right now. But
Sure. I'll let you go. You can go do some research and then come back to me. Thank you for coming up. Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to light up Cyber, but besides Ashlyn and Jay and Cyber, I'm not going to have any other friendlies up.
Yeah, I'm just going to be up just for a quick moment. But we do know that this census took place when Quirinius became the governor, because we know about this because Josephus writes about it. In fact, we get Judas the Galilean leads a revolt as a result of this census being taken. He doesn't want it, so he leads a revolt. And so we know that it took place when Luke says it did in 6 CE because Josephus writes about it. And then if you want to go and actually study more about Quirinius's career, Tacitus does a fantastic job of talking about Quirinius's political career, going from when he was a military leader all the way up to his governorship. He doesn't go into detail about Judea. That part gets left out. But other than Judea, he talked extensively about it. So, I mean, historians disagree with what that last guest was saying, completely supports what you were saying.
Yeah, Cyber. In fact, there's a...
Sorry, that's an antiquity for anyone that's looking for it, 17 and 18.
Yeah, in fact, there's another historian that corroborates the information. Is that so? Josephus says that Quirinius became governor of Syria after the deposition of Herod Archelaus. Well, the Roman historian Cassius Dio tells us that the deposition of Archelaus took place in the same year as when Tiberius did a blessing and honoring a dedication of the temple of Castor and Pollux, which was in 6 CE. So that tells us everything we need to know.
Yep. And again, I really want to see next time you bring up Quirinius. I really want you to try to run, like we discussed before, the pilot timeline with.
Yes.
I really want to hear you run that and watch them, like, because it's something I don't think they've ever heard. And every time I've heard it ran, they're kind of like, wait, what?
I need to add that to my list of historical inaccuracies because that's a really good one. Ashlyn, Jay, were y'all here when Cyber brought it up last time?
I don't think so.
So Luke says that Jesus was born during the census of Quirinius, which was around 6 CE. Then Luke also tells us that Jesus was baptized when he was about 30 years old. So you had to take 6 CE, add 30, you get 36 CE. 36 CE was the last year when Pontius Pilate was the procurator of Judea. He ruled as procurator of Judea from 26 CE to 36 CE. But according to the Gospels, Jesus had a 3-year ministry. So when Jesus, at the end of those 3 years, Pontius Pilate would not have been the procurator of Judea like the Gospel of Luke claims.
In fact, Jesus, according to Luke, was unalived in 39. That also is the same year in Rome when Pilate passed away. So it's like, according to Luke, it's impossible for Pilate to have had anything to do with Jesus.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Yeah, I've not. Question:
Okay.
Is this the same? Is Luke mentioning the same thing that you're talking about in Acts?
In Acts? What about in Acts?
The uprising.
No, that's is it? Are you referring to when one of the Jewish
Judas.
leaders brings up? Yeah, that's Judas the Galilean.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one and the same. But yeah, Cyber, thank you for that little reminder. I'll make sure to bring that up next time.
Yeah.
Bible historical contradiction.
Yeah, I just hopped on break at work, so I'm good for like another 10 minutes.
All right, you just hang up here then. Just hang out with us. Oh yeah, we have here Button Charm Creations, who has been very vocal in the comments for all day. So, Button, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask everyone else. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Just barely. You might need to...
You sound like you're in a bathtub.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Are you a Bible believer?
A Bible believer?
Mm-hmm.
No. You can drop me if you need to.
Oh yeah, I'm only taking opposition right now. I think I
Okay,
have you
you can
confused
drop
with
me.
somebody else.
That's
Absolutely.
okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
but have we ever thought about the velociraptor-shaped Earth?
The Velociraptor, what?
The velociraptor-shaped Earth. The claws
What is-
explain earthquakes.
Okay. And?
I'm just saying, have we ever thought about it? Like, could it be a
no. You know what? I'll definitely have to look into it. I'll have to message Neil deGrasse Tyson about that.
Sounds
We have Science Enlightenment. Science, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask everyone else. Are they going to come up? I hit accept, but it looks like no, they disappeared. What's over here?
Make sure
Let's
you're
see.
tapping
We
the
got-
screen, sharing out the live, doing all
Oh yeah,
the
we have.
things.
All right, we have Redeemed 24. Redeemed, are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yeah, I'm over 18.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yeah, I believe the Bible.
All right, question number 3, what are your pronouns?
He.
All right, I'm Dalton the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I believe in the Bible?
Yeah, pleasure to meet you. Just to answer your question, you will never believe the Bible unless God supernaturally opens your eyes for you to believe that that is His word.
Wow, why is God being such a dick and keeping me from believing in the Bible?
Well, it's a combination of. I believe in he's sovereign over everything. He's sovereign over every molecule, including you, including your
Sure,
mind.
he's sovereignly being a dick. Why?
Okay, I believe in God is sovereign. At the same time, man is responsible. I believe these are
No,
two
that
parallel
can't-
truths
No,
that
those are paradoxical,
I
not
believe.
true, non-truths.
Right, I believe that's what the Bible teaches.
Well, then the Bible's wrong, isn't it? Because I cannot be both responsible for my eternal life if God is the one gatekeeping me from believing.
Right. If you don't want to believe it, that's okay. But if you look at the story of, for example, Pharaoh, where God hardened his heart.
Yeah, God was a huge dick to Pharaoh. I think if
Right.
if you create something, you have a responsibility to that thing. And if God created Pharaoh, and Pharaoh would have let the Israelites go, then God has a responsibility to do good to the Pharaoh. It doesn't matter if he's the big bad dick in the sky with the scepter. He has a responsibility to every one of us, just as any parent would have responsibility to their child.
Right. I don't think God owes us anything. But I believe that story of Pharaoh shows God is sovereign over the hearts of men. And also man is responsible because
Then
it
your
was
God
also
is
his
evil.
decision. It was also Pharaoh's decision to harden his heart and not let his
No,
people.
Pharaoh wanted to let them go, but God hardened their heart. Your God is a dick and an evil prick.
Not only this, he did this before, like sending a plague and murdering Pharaoh's son.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hold on,
I'm sorry.
real quick. Redeem.
I just want to meet everybody. So all of y'all are atheists, or what are y'all?
Yes. Cyber, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I'm an atheist as well. Yeah, so, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be misremembering, but doesn't God tell Moses that, hey, these things have to come to pass because I got to show my superiority to these Egyptian gods? Like, these will come to pass. These 10 plagues are going to happen.
Yes, God knows the outcome of
Literally
everything.
says in
Yes.
Exodus 4:21. Yes, he does. He does, because I was reading this like just the other day because I was watching the Bible thingy and I was looking this up. Yes, he says. Hold on, let me pull
Oh,
it
that's
up.
good that you're researching the Bible. That's good.
Well, you don't want it to be because
No,
apparently.
no, the Bible's the #1 instrument for
I mean, God
turning
has
people
your
into
attention.
atheists.
God
No, he
has your
doesn't.
attention.
No, you all have our attention.
You have a show where you're like you hate God so much that you want
I don't
others to
hate
hate
God.
You don't
I mean, I hate.
Hey,
listen, I hate your God just as much about as much as I hate Lord Voldemort. Do you think me hating Lord Voldemort makes Voldemort
you don't have
real?
you don't have a TikTok show about
Because
prove to me that Lord Voldemort is real.
because there aren't a bunch of fucking Death Eaters walking around claiming that Voldemort is real and killing people just because they're not purebloods. If that was the reality, then I would have a TikTok talking about how shit Voldemort was.
Yeah. Hey. So Dalton.
Hold on, can I read
so
your
I'm-
text to you really
Here,
fast?
go ahead, Ashlyn, read it.
Okay, it said, "And the Lord said to Moses, when you go back to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders that I have put in your power, but I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go." That's God speaking.
He's fine with that though. He thinks God's allowed to be a dick because he's God. Isn't that right, Redemption?
Redeemed. And I would reword what you said. I would say God is allowed to do anything with his creation. Yes.
Sure. Is God evil?
No.
If God were evil, would you be able to tell?
That's an impossible theoretical. Like.
Yeah, that's a yes or no
In his
question.
nature, he's good.
Yes or no? Would you be able to tell if God was evil?
That's an unfair theoretical question, but
No,
just to keep the conversation going, yes.
Okay, how would you be able to tell if God was evil?
I mean, it's a theoretical question that I can't answer, but just to keep the
yes, you
conversation
can.
going, I answer. No, he is inherent. His nature is
No.
good.
No. How would you know if God was evil? How would you know?
He would not be holy, but he is holy.
And how do you know he's holy?
I know he's holy because I believe his word, which brings us all the way back to
So,
your first
in other
question. about
words,
why should I believe the
in other words, you only believe that God is holy because God says so. Fun fact: evil people can lie to you. How have you determined that God is not lying to you?
An evil person can lie to me. How do I know God is not lying to me?
Yes.
Because he's holy. Man
How
is
do you
not
know?
holy. Man
How
is
do you know?
sinful.
How do you know?
Because this is the claim that God made through his revelation.
Well, let me.
In other
Let me
words, you're taking God's word for it.
Yes, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
And how do you
All
know
are
that He
sinful.
isn't lying to you?
Yeah, like
Because
let me
his
take this
nature
a
is
step
holy.
further.
There's one thing God
Yes, I
cannot
heard.
do, and that's lie or sin.
Yeah, so
Says God.
so let me take this a step further. Let's say you pass away. You've been following the Bible the best you can, and you pass away, and there you are standing, and God is there, and you look at your wrist and you notice that you're shackled and you're being dragged towards the lake of fire, and you're like, wait, what's going on? And God goes, I laid this book out to you. Did you not notice the contradictions that were in it? Did you not notice the blatant evil that I was doing in this? Did you not notice that I unnecessarily sacrificed my son, saying that it was necessary? But I'm an all-powerful being. Nothing is necessary for me. Yet you still followed it. You did not use your logic. You did not see the issues with the book. Yet you still followed it to the T.
That's a good point. Redeemed, how do you know that God didn't create the Bible in order to test you to see whether or not you would be a sycophant for evil?
Right. I believe that the penalty of sin is death, so someone has to die in my place.
You're quoting to me the Bible. How do you know that God didn't create the Bible as a test to see whether or not you would be a sycophant for evil?
Dalton, I'm always going to go back to the Bible because that's the source of my worldview.
Ashlyn, Ashlyn, I want you to bring up the power cord.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Someone has like a leaf blower in the
Here.
back.
Yeah, that's me. You just have to deal with it. Okay, Ashlyn's going to show us something here. Okay, Redeemed. Why doesn't her power cord work?
Like if you plugged a TV into that, would the TV work?
No, it doesn't. It's not connected to a source of electricity.
It's circular, right?
Right. I understand you're going to accuse me of circular reasoning.
Not just accuse you, because you are. You said to me The Bible is true because the Bible is true. That's
Right.
some
I
bullshit.
I
That's
also believe
this.
I also believe the atheist worldview goes back to circular reasoning as well. Can I ask you a question about your worldview?
Sure.
So there's many questions, but so where do you think we came from?
We came from matter. We are matter. Evolution, abiogenesis.
Okay, that's a good answer. So humans came from matter. Where did that matter come from?
It's always existed.
So matter has always existed into infinity.
Yeah, matter cannot be created nor destroyed. Therefore, because you cannot get something from nothing, and there is something, therefore there was never nothing. The universe has always existed.
Where did God come from?
So he has always existed. So do you think that?
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead, Ashlyn.
Yeah, so it seems like our view is just more parsimonious.
Right. So my view demands faith. Yours also demands faith.
No,
No.
because here's the thing. Redeem, can you give me evidence that something can come from nothing?
I cannot give you evidence that you can touch, taste, feel, smell.
Sure.
No.
Have we ever
Just like
seen,
you, just
have we ever seen anything come from nothing?
no.
Therefore, I don't have any good reason to believe
than
that
the
something.
creation around us.
Well, no, because the Bible doesn't teach creation ex nihilo, creation out of nothing. That's a
It does.
post-biblical. No, it doesn't. It's
No,
a
it does.
post-biblical innovation. It doesn't.
How does the Bible not teach creation out of nothing? God spoke this universe into existence.
No,
He
he
spoke
didn't.
time, space, and matter into existence.
No, he didn't. That's not in the Bible.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning,
Genesis.
God
That's not
created
the
the
correct
heavens and the
translation.
earth.
No, the
When
correct
God-
translate. Yeah,
In the
the
beginning
first word.
time,
No, redeem.
God.
No.
Go ahead.
No. Does Genesis 1 never says God create time? First and foremost, the
In the
first word
beginning.
of Genesis. No, the first word of Genesis in Hebrew is Bereshit, and Bereshit does not mean in the beginning. It means in the beginning of. It means in the beginning of God creating the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters. In other words, when God begins his act of creation, there's already something there. The earth is there, the darkness is there, and the waters are there. And then God says, let there be light. And then that's when you get the first act of creation. God did not create, you don't see anything in the Bible about God creating ex nihilo.
And real
Okay,
quick, I'm going to hop down, but thanks for having me up.
Thanks for coming, Cyber.
Hi, Cyber.
So we have different interpretations of Genesis 1:1. So can I
I
ask
can
you?
read the Hebrew.
So we over time came from matter, right? So we started out
We are
as
matter.
as like a molecule or an atom or some sort of amoeba or some sort of plankton or what?
Something
All the
like
way
that.
back. What was the
Yeah.
first life?
We are
We
still
don't know.
atoms and molecules,
the
so
last,
that hasn't changed.
It's called the last unknown common ancestor as of now.
But,
This
here's
this
the
was
thing.
some.
But
This was
here's
some,
the thing,
go ahead.
Redeemed. Until you can demonstrate that the supernatural exists, all that we have evidence for is the natural. Therefore, the only viable explanation for the origin of life is a naturalistic explanation. Until you can demonstrate that such a thing other than the natural exists.
Right. I think from an atheist worldview, everything is supernatural. The sun coming up,
No,
that's
that's
supernatural.
not supernatural. No, that's natural.
From an
I don't
atheist
think.
worldview,
I think you should probably refrain from talking about the atheist perspective because you don't know it.
so the sun coming up every day, that just
Is
happens
a
over millions of years.
That's a natural occurrence. It's called gravity.
Okay, so humans. Okay, was there gravity from the beginning? From all? Well, not, you don't believe in time, but all the way back
No, I
to
believe in
infinity
time. It's just
past,
time has always
gravity
existed.
always existed.
Yeah, the fundamental forces of nature, the strong and weak nuclear force, the electromagnetic force, and the gravitational force have always existed.
Okay, so humans came from some sort of cell, right? And
We
through
are
the
made of
process of
Our cells still? We
well,
haven't changed?
so
And
I know
that
y'all are
cell
not
was not the first thing.
okay. I know y'all are not PhD, but y'all are very knowledgeable. So give me a word to label what we started out as, so
We
that I don't
don't
have
know
to
what
just say
we
random.
don't know what the first organism was.
Well, give me a word. So we'll just call it
The
first
first,
organism.
we'll call it the
Fir-
common ancestor.
Lucas.
Our common ancestor,
Yeah,
which is the first
Luca.
organism. Okay, so that's what we started off as. Those are our ancestors. Those organisms became some sort of fish, and then those
Over,
fish became over millions, billions of years.
I think you should refrain from talking about evolution because you're just gonna make yourself
Oh,
sound silly.
I want to learn. I want to learn about your worldview. So, over millions and billions of years, those our first ancestors became some sort of fish swimming through the waters, and
No,
then
our
those.
our ancestors gave birth, not gave birth, but they produced others of their kind. But every time the replication event took place, there was always a slight variation, and those variations build up over billions of years.
Yeah, it likely wasn't like microbes, but we don't know. And I'm not going to speak on something that I'm not a like expert on.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not the science guy. I'm the Bible guy.
Okay, so
But
just
we know
so we're just
we know this for many reasons. I don't want to go down an argument with you because we don't have a
right. So we're
background or
speculating.
education on this.
Yeah.
No, I understand the arguments of why this is to be the case, and even if like it is the natural worldview, we don't need to explain it like to fruition for you, because the natural world is the only thing that we can observe. So we already have an axiom to rely upon. This is which exists. Yours implies that God is the reason, and we're just saying nature, and we stop there. I don't have to go through and explain every part of nature to you to know that my worldview is more parsimonious.
Okay, so you think all that exists is what we can see. So there's nothing invisible that exists outside of the material world.
Invisible, there are things so small that you can't see them
No,
with the
I'm
naked
not
eye.
saying see with an eye. Observable just means measurable.
Right, like you can't weigh it or anything like that.
We can't measure gravity, but we can observe it because of we can drop things, right? That's observable. We can measure that in certain degrees. Like observable doesn't mean that like I can physically see that with my eyes. Like we have microscopes, we have lasers, we have a number of different technologies in order to observe forces, which is what gravity would be. It's not a
Okay.
thing.
So I want to come with y'all. I love both of y'all very much. And I know that these types of conversations can create hostility. I don't. So anything I ask, please don't take it as an attack on your worldview. Just
Or
as I'm
not.
not taking what y'all say as an attack. So everything that you know, Ashlyn, you believe this because some men in lab coats who are much
No.
smarter than you and I wrote it in a book.
No,
No.
that's not why.
Why?
It's
I've
evidential,
worn a
demonstrable.
lab. I've worn a lab coat before, so and done research. I'm very familiar with the scientific process, but only in the field of biopsychology. I'm not going to sit there and tell you about another field that I don't have any education or formal education in a depth to, because there are some things that I might word wrong or say wrong. So I don't want, like, for that, go to Dr. Blitz, go to Oblivion, go to a number of different creators on this platform that can sit down with you and actually explain it to detail, rather than us giving you just vague information that's going to leave you with more questions
Yeah.
that we probably can't answer well. But what you're trying to say is because we can't answer anything, therefore God, that is God of the gaps. That is like saying that Thor, at the time of people believing in Thor because they didn't know what thunder was, that was a justifiable or truthful claim, but that cannot be the case, because
Yeah.
all of us here now know that Thor does not create thunder.
I think
Yeah,
that
when
the
it comes
reason.
when it comes to scientists, they don't believe in science because of someone wrote in a book. Anyone can go to college and get the education, and you can actually do the science yourself. And they do not want you to just read a book and to memorize facts and to just believe the book. They're going to have you do the experiments yourself, which is the difference between like God and science, is that the science is actually demonstrable and anyone can participate in this event. It's not like
Dalton, you're saying that your worldview is based on a belief on what other smarter people say,
Demonstrable evidence.
and also
I've
what you
no,
have
I've
experienced in your
seen
personal
I've
life.
seen the evidence. I've actually seen the evidence myself for evolution. I've
So it's
seen
the same for a
species.
Christian. A Christian
No,
can
you
believe.
haven't.
A Christian has a personal experience, a personal relationship with God, as
No,
well
no,
as his
this is not a
testimony in the Word of God.
no, redemption. This is not a personal experience that I'm describing.
Okay,
Anyone
I'm sorry.
can go and look at the data and the evidence, not just reading things and it's like no one's like saying the evolution is true, therefore it's true from a science book. No, they're actually giving you verifiable data to demonstrate the truth of the matter. You can, and you are incapable of doing that with your God. For example, you've yet to give me, and we've pivoted way off of this. I really need to
Yeah,
get back
we're
to it.
all over the place. Yeah.
You've yet to be able to give me a way in which you would be able to tell if God was evil.
Right. That's a hypothetical question, like asking,
And
is
you're
the
going to answer it.
is grass 17 blue? Like that
No,
doesn't
that's
make
not.
sense.
No,
It doesn't make sense.
that's not hypothetical. That's a real question. You can actually answer. You can just look outside your window and say, "No, it's not." I'm
It's like
asking you
saying,
if
can God
if
create a
okay,
stone so
hey,
heavy he
okay,
cannot lift it?
if your boss was evil, would you be able to tell?
Yes, from the Word of God.
Oh God, you don't know. Then you don't actually know what good and evil is.
Okay, so let's
You
talk
don't.
about
No,
morality.
you
Let's
don't
talk about
know.
morality.
You don't.
How do you know what
You
good
don't.
and evil is?
You don't actually know what good and evil means. You just think good means whatever God says. So if God told you to take a bunch of babies and smush them up and turn them into paste, you'd say it's good because God said so.
Well,
For example, if you
how
were
do
an
you know
ancient
what evil is?
Israelite, if you were an
Can
ancient
you?
Israelite, if you
I'm
were an
listening.
ancient Israelite, if you were an ancient Israelite living during the time of King Saul, and you were one of the Israelites under Saul's army, and you heard the prophet say to you that the Lord God said you have to go into this city, and you have to go and kill the men, the women, the children, and the infants. Would you do it, and would it be good to kill the infants?
If God is declaring war against another nation, yes, that's
So
war.
you just be clear, you would kill. Yeah, you would kill babies because
Doesn't our
God
army?
said so.
It doesn't matter
No,
if it's a baby.
no, our army,
Okay, let me ask
our
you this,
army does
Dalton.
not. Our army does not kill babies, and if they
Okay,
do,
okay,
they go to
Dalton, you're right. You're
fucking
right.
court.
You're
This
right.
is
You're right.
why
You're right.
this justifies what Israel is doing to Palestine,
Right.
and that's
Right.
exactly part of the reasoning why so many people are saying that it's justified, which
Dalton,
is harmful.
I'm sorry, Ashlyn, for interrupting you.
No, you respond to what she just said.
Well, I was trying to respond to what you said about. So you said it's wrong to kill a baby. What is wrong with killing a baby over an adult?
They're defenseless. They haven't done any wrong.
Okay, so it's wrong to kill a defenseless life.
Yes, and the fact that you have to ask that
Well,
fucking question, the fact that you have to ask that question is exactly what is wrong with your religion.
No. So what's wrong with evolved?
I don't talk to baby killers. Thank you. Fuck off.
I was about to say, I think he was going to pivot to abortion.
Yeah. All right. I'm not going to let them get away with not being able to answer for me the question of how they do not know that God is evil. I will not let that happen. All right. Checking on it. I have 3 questions for you. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old or older?
Quick
Oh.
W.
That was quick. He heard, "Oh, this guy's not fucking around." Yeah, that's right. I'm a bit spicy tonight.
You are, and it's kind of fulfilling something in me. See, guys, that's how you use the word fulfill.
Yeah, I didn't get rid of Ashlyn by fulfilling her.
Dalton.
No comment.
That last guest had some crazy likes on her profile.
Hmm. Anyways, I've not eaten my food because I've been yelling at people. Y'all make conversation. Read comments and stuff.
Mod time. Everybody in here, there's 118 of y'all. Let's tap Dalton. I mean, the screen on where Dalton is. Um, and share the live out. Do the things. You can send the heart me if you have a coin. That always helps boost the algorithm to get Christians in here. Hopefully, not have any other ones who would unalive babies, but have good conversation. And just learn more about the Bible. And oh, look, there we go.
All right. You Matter Ministries. Question number 1: Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, sir. I'm 33.
Question number 2: Are you a Christian or a Bible believer?
Both. I believe they go hand in hand.
All right. And question number 3: What are your pronouns?
I'm a male.
Okay, but what are your pronouns?
I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to understand what you're asking me.
Pronouns are words that replace proper nouns in order to avoid repetition. Words like he, him, she, her, or they, them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I'm a guy. He, I guess.
All right. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I?
Okay, so you don't believe in the Bible.
Correct.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question, and I'm not ignoring your question. This is important here. If the Bible was true, would you want to believe in it?
It wouldn't matter if I wanted to believe it. I would be forced to.
Okay, so if the Bible was true, you would believe in it?
Yeah, I would have to. I wouldn't have any choice in the matter.
Okay, my next question, and I think that's a great answer. Very objective and intelligent, so I appreciate that. My next question is, if the Bible was true, you would then believe in it, would you want to follow God at that point from what the Bible says?
I kind of have to, wouldn't I? It's either that or
No,
eternal
you still have
burning.
a choice. Yeah, you'd have a choice.
Yeah. It's like asking, would you kiss this guy who's holding a gun to you or let him blow your brains out? That's a choice, but is it really? Like, I can either worship God or I can burn forever. And I think I don't like the idea of burning forever. So,
Absolutely.
But
Well,
whether or not I'd be able to
that is
trick.
your answer. You should believe the Bible because it is true.
Okay, I don't think it is true though, and it's evident it's not true. For example, the New Testament makes the claim that Jesus was the Messiah, and yet he doesn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy.
He was crucified without broken bones.
But that's not a prophecy in the Hebrew Bible.
I thought it was, though. I'm pretty darn sure.
It wasn't. The closest thing you get to that is Exodus chapter 12, where Yahweh tells the Israelites that they're not allowed to break the bones of the Passover lamb. But that's not a prophecy. That's just a command on how to prepare the Passover lamb. Prophecies are words from prophets that predict the future. And that's not one of them.
Yep. I wish I had my Bible on me. Unfortunately, it's on my phone. But he did fulfill the prophecies in Isaiah or Ezekiel. I forget exactly. But so do you believe the Hebrew Bible was correct?
No.
Well, then it wouldn't really matter.
No, it wouldn't matter. I mean, if Jesus really did fulfill what the prophets spoke of, then I would believe that the Hebrew Bible was right, was correct, and that Jesus was that Messiah.
Yeah, like Psalm 22. Or
Psalm
Isaiah
22 is not. Yeah, Psalm 22 is not a prophecy. It's a psalm. It's
Well,
a
David
psalm
was
written
a
for.
prophet, so had prophetic
No,
words.
David didn't write the psalm. The psalm doesn't claim to be written by David. Your English Bible says a psalm of David, but the Hebrew says Mizmor la David, which means a psalm for David or about David, but it doesn't mean a psalm written by David. Matters?
Yes.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I listened to every word you said. I was just waiting to hear if there's more.
No, that was it. The psalm never claims to be written by David. It's only written for and about David.
So yeah, I would disagree with that, but that's okay.
But that's what the text says. So you just disagree with what the psalmist writes?
No, I disagree with who you claim the psalmist is.
Well, no, the psalmist never claims to be David, does he? If I go to Psalm 22 in the Hebrew, Psalm 22. It says here that it is written. Let's see. It says Lamanziach, which is to the choir master. Al Eliat HaShechar, according to the hand of the dawn. Mizmor La David, a psalm for David.
Yep. And I read a Psalm of David.
Yeah, but the Hebrew says for. The preposition lamed means for or to, and it never means by. If you wanted to say psalm by David, you would say Mizmor al Yedai David, a psalm according to the hand of David.
Uh-huh. So, the Bible was written by, what, 40-something authors? A little more than that?
No, because again, we don't know who wrote the Psalms. It could very well be that there's 150 authors for just the Psalms.
Which is even greater, because you don't find a single actual contradiction in the Bible. That doesn't happen by accident.
You do. There are tons.
Please give me an example.
Yeah, for example, one of my favorites is that according to the Gospels, was Jesus born during the reign of King Herod the Great or during the census of Quirinius?
He was born during the census, and he was born during King Herod. Yep.
Unless he crawled back up into his mother's vagina and was born 10 years later, that's impossible, because the census under Quirinius took place 10 years after Herod had already died.
That's not a Bible contradiction. That's a history contradiction. I'm asking for a contradiction in the Bible in itself.
In the Bible, with all right, who killed Goliath?
David.
Really? Because I got a Bible passage here that says that it was someone named Elhanan who killed Goliath. It says in 2 Samuel 21:19, and there was again war with the Philistines at Gob, and Elhanan, the son of Jaar-ogin, the Bethlehemite, slew Goliath the Gittite, the shaft of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. 2 Samuel 21, verse 19.
Okay, so where in the Bible does it say that David killed him?
The most famous story where David slew Goliath by slamming his head with a rock and cutting it off?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that would be 1 Samuel 21. Or, sorry, 1 Samuel 17.
Yeah, people went by multiple names there. That is not a contradiction.
Well, you're making the claim that David went by two names and his dad went by two names? When they're the only people in the...
I'm saying, when I read it in the Bible, it says David.
No, it says Elhanan.
Because it's a contradiction.
It's not a contradiction, it's a lack of understanding.
What makes more sense is that Samuel was likely the original story, and later on there were traditions and more dialogue was added. That what is why you see the text change, like over time.
2 Samuel 21 doesn't say anything about David killing Goliath. It says that Elhanan killed Goliath.
Okay. And I believe that's David.
No, who's David's dad?
Jesse.
So it's David's dad was not Yair-or-Egim?
I read it and it said it was Jesse.
Okay, 2 Samuel says that the person named Elhanan who killed Goliath was the son of Yair-or-Egim.
I don't have my Bible in front of me, but I'll have to take your word for it for now.
Gee whiz. Alright, fuck. I don't know how we're going to do this now. If you don't have your Bible, you're just going to dismiss everything I say as well. That's
I literally said I'll take your word for it.
Who's Joseph's father? Joseph, like the stepfather of Jesus. Who's his dad?
I don't know.
Well, according to the Gospel of Matthew, his father's name was Jacob. According to the Gospel of Luke, his father's name was Heli.
Okay.
Oh,
you see multiple places in the Bible where people go by more than one name. It's not far-fetched.
So, Heli's father was Mathat, and Jacob's father was Mathan, and every single one of their fathers are completely different. And it goes all the way back to King David, and one genealogy says that it's the genealogy of David through his son Nathan, and one says it's the genealogy of David through his son Solomon, who we know for a fact are not the same person because the Bible and the Hebrew Bible tells us they are two separate people.
Yeah, I don't
So
believe it.
was Joseph a descendant of King David according to Nathan or Solomon?
Yeah, Joseph was a descendant of King David.
From Nathan or Solomon?
You can read what it says, like I said, on my law in front of me. But what you're
Alright.
missing the point is that multiple names of the same people is not.
Okay, if you're just going to make the claim that every fucking no, because you're being ridiculous.
Do Genesis and Exodus 16.
Sure. I'll do this one last one. I'll do this one last one. But if he makes the claim that people have multiple names, I'm just gonna move on. Don't tell me to calm down on my own live, not your live. All right. Does Abraham know that? Shut the fuck up.
Leave this man alone and never come back. I rebuke him in the name of Jesus Christ.
Gross.
I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Stop trying to cast a spell on me, you freak. Jesus fucking Christ.
You just knew too much, Dalton. You knew too much.
I rebuke the spirit of knowledge and wisdom.
New demon dropped everybody.
God fucking damn. Okay, just so everyone knows, because he was too much of a child, and he was super dishonest in the conversation. According to the book of Genesis, Abraham knows that God's name is Yahweh. This is in Genesis chapter 22, where he names the name of a mountain Yahweh Yireh, which means the Lord will provide. And in Exodus chapter 6, God tells Moses that Abraham did not know God by the name Yahweh. So, but he probably would have said, well, we had different names or something. All right.
I figured one would be a little easier since the name thing wasn't working. But
I'm gonna bring up this next guest, but something tells me that they are not. I don't know if they're a Bible believer. We'll find out. Question number 1, Abdullah, are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yeah.
Oh.
Question number 2, do you believe that the Bible is true?
I think parts of it are true.
Are you Muslim?
Yeah. I just want to come up and say,
I don't trust it when people turn on their cameras.
Sorry, but we are only talking to Bible believers, and I've had too many people come up today who were not Bible believers.
We don't do the Muslim thing 90 because it is honestly a little annoying. Every time I speak to someone about this, they just say, well, you don't speak Arabic. You don't speak Arabic. You can't know what the text says. And it's just honestly annoying.
And then you take Elias in.
Yeah, right. Then I go get Elias because I've confirmed a lot of these with him. So.
All right. Let's see. We have here. Oh, young boy Travi, you're back.
Back.
All right. What did you have what were we talking about before? Bible prophecies?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a Bible prophecy for me that Jesus fulfilled?
Well, he fulfilled all of them, but we weren't talking about those prophecies. We were talking about. At that time we were talking about, what was it? King Herod and that stuff. Yeah.
Sure.
And then the genealogy thing, but.
Sure. Oh yeah. Could you show me a verse where the gospel claims to be the genealogy of Mary?
So.
Because if it doesn't say so, I'm not going to believe it.
In Matthew, it says he's born in the days of Herod, right? So,
real quick, Abdul in the comment section. Sorry, I was a bit jumpy. I've had a lot of Muslims come up to try to talk about the Quran.
Okay, yeah. Yes, free Palestine, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, it's not you. It's like, it's been a day.
Yeah, sorry. But yes, free Palestine, absolutely. Anyways, yeah, could you again, Young, unless the text tells me directly that this genealogy belongs to Mary, not going to believe it. So, can you show me where in the text it says that the genealogy of either Luke or Matthew belongs to Mary?
Yeah. So in Luke, it looks like it gives Joseph's genealogy, right? But
Yes.
when you really look at the wording and cultural, like the context of it, it points to Mary's
I'm,
lineage
I'm
because
familiar. I'm familiar with the wording of the text and the culture of the text. I don't think this is of Mary. It doesn't say it.
the so in Luke 3:23 when it says like as was supposed, right?
Yeah, Jesus was supposedly the son of Joseph, but who does it say
Right?
that Joseph? Does it say Joseph was supposedly the son of Heli, or that he
No.
was?
And it
It
says
just
that in Jewish custom, when a man is married into a family that has no sons, the son-in-law is called the son for like legal issues, right? He's gonna get the inheritance like that, right?
sure, you would call him your son,
So
but
that's his
would
father, as supposed to
would
be his father,
no,
right?
no, you would not. That person's genealogy, like for example, if you had a man from the tribe of Judah
We're
and
not
he
talking about
married,
yes, we're talking about facts, fam. We want to talk about
yeah,
facts. Don't
we're
talk
talking about
about ifs.
we're talking about genealogies. If you had a son, a man from the tribe of Judah, marry a woman from the tribe of Levi, her father would be a Levite and would thus be eligible to be a priest. The man from Judah would not be eligible to become a priest because just because he is the son-in-law of the Levite doesn't mean that he inherits or is part of their genealogy. That's not how Jewish law works. Does it say that he's the son-in-law of Heli?
That should be. It doesn't say that. That should be like you should know that if he's married to Mary, right? And Mary,
Where
Mary
does it
is
say
the
that
son
Mary
of
was?
him.
Where does it say that Mary was the daughter of Heli?
I'm telling you, I just told you how it says that according.
No. Show me
Yes, I
the
did.
verse where it. Show me the verse where it says that Mary was the daughter of Heli.
I just told you how it said that by saying
Here, I'll
as
say this one
supposed
more.
to.
I'll say this one more time. No, Jesus was supposedly the son of Joseph. It doesn't say anything about Joseph being supposedly the son of
Right?
Heli. Where,
And the
if you
reason,
want me to
and
believe,
and
if you want me to believe that Heli is not Joseph's father but his father-in-law, you're going to show me where it says in the book of Luke that Mary's father's name was Heli.
okay, can I finish what I was saying without you interrupting? That seems to be a
No,
big deal for you.
no. You can answer my question.
And that's how I'm answering your question, but you interrupted me. That's why
As long as the answer to your question is a Bible verse that says where Mary is the daughter of Heli, I don't care.
then we can't even have a real conversation, fam. Like what?
Yes, because you don't want to answer my questions. I only want to talk to people who are willing to be honest with me. You don't seem to want to be honest with
I'm
me.
willing to be honest with you. I'm reading you facts.
Then I will tell you this one more time. You are making the claim that Joseph is the son-in-law of Heli, and ergo that Heli is the father of Mary. You're going to need to show me some evidence from the text that says that Mary's father's name was Heli. If you cannot show me a verse that says that Mary's father was Heli, I'm not going to buy it.
Okay. And like I can't give you a verse that says Mary's because I don't think
I
there's a
know.
verse that says that. But if you
Exactly.
know how to read with the context and
I know.
how it says as supposed to be his father, meaning Joseph was not his real father. People assumed he was his real
Yes,
father.
Yes,
Right?
Joseph was not Jesus'
So they're
real
clearly
father.
not talking about
But
his line if he's not his
does
real father.
does it say that
The
Joseph was
problem,
supposedly the son of Heli?
the problem, there's two other problems with this, Young, that I think you might be forgetting, is it wasn't the cultural norm that genealogies were traced through women. And second one is that when you're looking at like the text, it would be consistent that these are both from the house of David, because both of them wanted to fulfill the prophecy.
So
They
the
are
text,
both from the house of David, though.
Yeah, the text says that Jesus was supposedly the son of Joseph. It doesn't say that Joseph was supposedly the son of Heli.
Okay,
It says
and
that he
I
was the
get
son
that.
of Heli.
And the reason it says it was supposedly the son of Joseph is because Joseph was not his biological father. And the
That's
reason
fine.
that the reason the author put that in there
I'm not.
is
I'm not.
because he
I'm not.
wanted. Come
I'm
on,
not
quit
contending.
talking over me if you. If
I'm
you
not.
apologize.
No. I'm not. I'm not contending with you that Jesus was Joseph's son. I'm not making that claim. I'm not. I don't care about Jesus' relationship to Joseph. I'm only asking who is Joseph's parent.
If you want Joseph's genealogy, look at Matthew. You know that.
No, I'm looking at Joseph's genealogy right here in Luke.
But I'm telling you how that's not his genealogy, and you're not letting me tell you. Every time I get
you're
to talking,
bullshitting
you and
with
your
me.
friend start talking over me.
No, you're bullshitting with me.
It's
You
not
keep talking-
bullshitting.
You
I
keep.
was
You
presenting
keep talking.
more of the argument.
Yeah.
Over
You keep
top.
pointing
Hear what
to.
I said?
Yeah,
keep
and I'd be
pointing-
letting y'all finish. Why can't y'all let me finish?
You keep pointing to something that doesn't matter in the conversation. You keep pointing to the fact that says that Jesus was supposedly the son of Joseph. I'm not asking you about the relationship between Joseph and Jesus.
I know you're not.
I'm only
not
asking you
confused.
about. I'm only asking you about the relationship between
confused.
Heli and Joseph. Why should I believe that Heli is anything other than Joseph's father from the text?
Because the first part that you don't want me to repeat because it takes you away from the topic for some reason. Okay, it shows that biologically Joseph could not be the line of Jesus because he was not biologically the father, right?
I don't give a shit about Jesus. We're not talking about Jesus. We're only talking about Joseph and his relationship to Heli. Stop
Right, but
bringing
the
up
way
Jesus.
that the
It's
writer
irrelevant.
wrote this, that's the only way you can
Jesus himself,
do
when
this.
he began, was about 30 years old, being, as it was supposed, the son of Joseph of Heli. The subject in this sentence is Joseph, and the father is Heli. That is
Yeah.
exactly what it says.
Well, I'm not asking you whether or not Jesus was actually Joseph's son. That's not in
No,
question.
you're
I
not.
will for the moment we'll just accept the virgin birth old mythology. Jesus wasn't Joseph's son. I'm not asking you about that. Where in the text does it lead me to believe that Heli was not Joseph's actual father?
I already told you how.
No, you haven't.
Will you let me finish without interrupting me? It'll take 30 seconds.
As long as you don't bring up the relationship between Joseph and Jesus, because it's irrelevant.
Okay. It says Joseph was the son of Heli, right? But in Jewish custom, when a man is married into a family with no sons, okay, they didn't have brothers. Okay.
How do you know?
What do you mean? Does it say in the Bible? That's your logic, fam. Like what?
Yeah. How do you know that she doesn't have brothers?
Because it's.
You're assuming
Did it say
that
so in
Heli
the
was
Bible?
You're assuming Heli was the father-in-law of Joseph.
Now
you're assuming
your
that
logic is illogical.
No.
You hear yourself?
I'm remaining.
That's
No,
why
I'm remaining.
atheist is the most
no,
illogical
Young.
thing.
I'm
That's it.
remaining exactly consistent.
You're not.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to assume that Heli was Joseph's father-in-law, and in the same way, I'm not going to assume that Mary was a single child unless you can show me from the text she was a single child. I'm being consistent here. You are being consistent in the fact that you consistently read things into the text and assume things about the text that the text does not say. If you want to make the claim that this had to be Mary's genealogy because she was an only child, you need to show me where in the text it says she was an only child.
So in Matthew, it tells us Joseph's genealogy. Okay.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So if you look in Luke and you see, oh wow, this isn't the same. Clearly, this isn't him. This is completely different people we're talking about. Why? Why would it be wrote like this? Why would it be written like this? And then,
Because Matthew and Luke were not collaborating with each other. They were writing their own myths about Jesus at different times, and they both made up genealogies.
No, fam. And the fact that you can't see that it's talking
The
about
fact that you
that.
cannot actually show me where in the text it says that that Heli is Mary's father is the whole point. Is that you have to put things into the Bible that aren't there. I'm just reading the Bible for what it plainly says. It says plainly that Joseph was the son of Heli in one text, and that Joseph was the son of Jacob in another text. You have to read things into the Bible that aren't there. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to force Matthew and Luke to say things that aren't there.
I'm not saying anything that isn't there, bro.
Yes, you are. You
What
said
did I
that
say?
man that
What
you said
wasn't there?
that you said that Heli was Mary's mom. I said Mary's father, and that Mary was an only child. You
I didn't
can't.
say she
Where
was
is
the
that in the
only
text?
child. I said in Jewish culture, when a person marries into a family with no brothers,
That's not true, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
yes, it
Okay.
is true.
Where
I've
does
already
it?
told you
Okay.
how it's not.
Where does it say that? Even if we assume that was true, where does the Bible say that Mary had no brothers?
Or that Mary's not mentioned in that chapter at all.
Yeah, she doesn't have to be.
So where does the text say that Mary had no brothers?
I didn't say it said that.
So you're inserting something to the text that's not there. My point.
No, I
exactly.
didn't say that she had no brothers.
Thank
I
you.
never was
Thank.
been trying to talk about that point, bro. But we don't even have to
Yes.
talk about genealogy. You can't get past the most simplest part of it.
You
So
can't.
like, there's no way you're gonna
Yeah, you can't seem to
comprehend.
prove the simplest part of it is the problem.
I already did, bro, and you're telling me that it's
You haven't.
not factual.
You just asserted things about the family of Mary and Joseph without being able to prove it.
Didn't
I
assert
suggest that
any-
if you want,
did I
I
assert?
suggest that if you want to have a conversation with me, that you don't insert things into the Bible that aren't there, or because I'm just going to keep calling you out on it.
Okay, what did I insert though? I didn't say that anything
That
was
Joseph was not
in the
that
Bible.
Joseph was not this that Joseph was not actually the son of Heli. That Heli was Joseph's father-in-law. It doesn't say father-in-law.
That would be weird. They'd be cousins.
It's okay. We don't have to keep talking about the genealogy part, bro. It's fine.
Technically, marrying your cousin.
I wouldn't want to
Like,
either if I was you.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
like
marrying your cousin
the
is allowed in Judaism, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it would have been against the law, but they would have been cousins. That was weird.
That's not even the only problem with the genealogies. One of the problems with the genealogies is, according to the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus' genealogy is being counted through David, through Solomon, and through Jeconiah. And Jeconiah's whole family tree was cursed that they would never have any descendants who were kings in Israel.
Oh,
And
you're right.
yeah, and then on top of that, Luke's genealogy is David through Nathan. Nathan's family line is not the family line of the kings; it's through Solomon only. So both genealogies are
That's
completely
why he
worthless to
did
Jesus
it.
either way.
I mean, technically, the
Yeah.
cursed family line, Jesus was never actually king, so it still works.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Why?
So why should I believe that the Bible is true?
Because of like the countless like bits of evidence for it.
Like,
it's the most complete out of all of like the religious texts. It
What
gives you a
evidence?
why and a when
What
and a
evidence?
how.
What do
What
you mean the
evidence?
most complete? Because
Yeah,
Hinduism has literal temples that are filled to the brim with untranslatable text that are from the mantras.
The
And
most
the Quran,
complete,
and the Quran is more complete than the Bible.
like the most complete, as in like it connects to the world. And
Hinduism does that. Hinduism has it like everything has a little.
no,
thing for
I mean
everything.
as in history, as in like people use the
Irrelevant.
Bible. People
Okay,
use
the Bible
people
being
use the Bible
popular.
to find an archaeological dig site.
We did the same thing with Greek mythology. We didn't even find some places in Greek mythology until
Yeah,
we realized it was
I
only in
bet.
Greek
I'm not
mythology.
saying Greek mythology is not.
So this
got
actually
some
doesn't
truth to
give
it
me a.
either,
So this
but
doesn't actually give me a reason to believe that the Bible is true. Could you give me a piece of evidence to prove that, for example, Jesus was the Messiah?
the prophecies. I mean,
Let's name one. And don't just name your word. Name the best one. Let's skip all the shitty ones.
name the
Let's get to
best
your
one. I guess it would be that he was gonna die and then or unalive and then re-alive 3 days later.
Where does the Hebrew Bible prophesy the Messiah would die and be resurrected?
He prophesied it. He said, "I'll break
Where?
this temple down."
No, where the Hebrew Bible prophesies it.
The Hebrew Bible.
Yeah, where does the Hebrew Bible prophesy that the Messiah would die and be raised from the dead?
I mean, I don't have my notebook with me with all those prophecies, but I could find it.
Okay, you have at least one prophecy.
There's
in the Bible that Jesus fulfilled.
351 prophecies in the Bible,
There-
and he completed every single one of them.
There is
Yes.
at best a couple of dozen messianic prophecies, and Jesus didn't fulfill a single one of them.
He
If
completed
you
all
think, but if
350.
you
That's
think,
crazy.
if you think that there's these fucking 300 prophecies, you should be able to point me to one of them.
Yeah, I just pointed you to one.
No, you didn't. You made a claim. You didn't point me to a passage.
You didn't ask me to point you to a passage. You said no.
That's why when I say to you, what is a prophecy fulfilled by Jesus in the Hebrew Bible? I'm asking you to point me to a passage in the Hebrew Bible that is a prophecy, a prediction of the future by the mouth of a prophet that Jesus fulfilled. And for extra in the comment section who keeps spamming Psalm 16 verse 10, the Psalms are not prophecies. So no.
But there's so many of them, bro. Like,
then name one.
Him being born in Bethlehem. That was
That is not actually.
The Hebrew Bible never says the Messiah will be born in
I
Bethlehem.
could give you
It does,
4
though.
prophecies from Judaism.
Isaiah.
That is in the Hebrew Bible.
Isaiah doesn't say anything about Bethlehem.
Micah talks about his suffering will be and death will be a sacrifice for our sins.
No, okay. So
Yes, it
now
does.
you're getting
Micah
Isaiah.
5:2, bro.
Micah 5:2 is the Bethlehem thing, and it doesn't say the Messiah will be born in Bethlehem.
But if you want, I can help you out. I can give you 4 prophecies
Isaiah
in
53,
in the Hebrew
Jeremiah
Bible that
23,
Jesus did not fulfill.
Which one did he not fulfill?
He did not bring peace upon earth. He did not take all the Jewish people back to the homeland. He did not become king of Israel, and he did not rebuild the third temple.
Well, have you read the New Testament of the Bible?
Yeah, he didn't do any of those things. We
Yeah,
still
Jesus
are
did
at
not.
war. The reward
Because
will be
that's
time.
because like that timeline that
He is not the Messiah
hasn't
yet,
happened
because the
yet. We
Messiah
haven't
has
got
to
there
fulfill
yet,
this to
right?
be identified
Like
as the
how could
Messiah.
it have happened?
Oh, if Jesus has to return to fulfill, then guess what? My dead Jewish friend was actually the Messiah, but he didn't fulfill the prophecies because he'll do it when he returns.
Lazarus wasn't the Messiah. He was resurrected.
Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson did not. Everyone thought he was the Messiah in the 1990s.
Yeah, Jesus resurrected Lazarus, fam.
He didn't. It's a myth. But anyways, it doesn't seem like you're equipped to
Why
have
is
this
all of
conversation.
this? Why is everything?
It doesn't seem like
factual
it doesn't seem like you're equipped to have this conversation. So we're just gonna move on to someone who actually knows their
Yeah.
Bible. And to everyone in the comment section who keeps mentioning Exodus chapter 12, Exodus 12 is not a prophecy, and Genesis 49 verse 10 is about King David. Nice try.
Dalton, congrats on becoming the Messiah in a couple thousand years.
Yeah, when I return. Yeah.
Eventually.
All right, we're gonna bring up Prook.
Someone said bro got scared and kicked me. Nah. You just don't understand.
No, you don't know the Bible well enough for me to talk to you. That's the problem. I keep trying to bring up Prook, but for some reason. There you go. They're connecting now. Hey, Prook, welcome back. I don't need to ask you the questions because you're a returning guest.
You said what?
I said I don't need to ask you the standard introductionary
Oh
questions.
yeah,
'cause
yeah.
You're a returning guest.
Yeah, man. I mean, we talk about we talked about the resurrection last time, and I'm not really gonna rehash that, I guess. I mean, you mentioned a good point with the Pesher thing, right? Like when it comes to their interpretation, you said that they would interpret a resurrection or this type of a vision as a resurrection to, and I forget exactly how you worded that.
That within the cultural context of the ancient Israelites, if they would have think that their master was the Messiah, and then they had visions or hallucinations where they saw him, their first thought would probably be for resurrection, because they had reinterpreted certain passages of the Hebrew Bible to be speaking about a resurrected Messiah.
Right. Okay, that's fine. I had a few questions. So one question was, do you think that Jesus, people were calling Jesus the Messiah when he was alive, or this was after his crucifixion?
I don't know.
What do you think? Do you have any hunch? Do you lean on any side there, or?
I don't. I remain. I have no idea. I don't take a position on that.
Okay. And another question is, do you think that the Gospels are influenced by Paul, or
Yeah,
by,
in part.
in part, or do you think they're like kind of independent?
I think they definitely are influenced by Paul, especially like, for example, the Last Supper narrative and the the idea that Jesus was sold and was betrayed by someone to the Jewish leaders was definitely inspired by Paul.
Yeah, because I think Richard Carrier takes this view that like all of it is like a reconstructed story, like a mythos that is based off Paul's letters, something like that.
Yeah, because Paul speaks about how on the night in which Jesus was, some Bible translations say betrayed. It's not really appropriate. It's more on the night that Jesus was handed over, that he said these words, and he talks about the Last Supper, and he received this from the Lord. So, from my perspective, it's a hallucination.
Right.
So it's coming from Paul, and then the gospel authors are using that and sort of constructing the Last Supper narrative around those ideas.
You would admit that Paul's experiences are very weird, right? Like in the sense that he's projecting an enemy apparition, and that wouldn't be common or even something that we've ever seen, really, right?
Yeah, we don't know what triggered Paul's first experience. We
Right.
don't know anything about his personal life.
Right, but you would admit that there's we don't see this anywhere in history of people like projecting a hallucination of an enemy, right?
I haven't looked into it, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
know. But again, the whole idea of that we don't know the backstory for why Paul had his hallucination about Jesus. Like, what could have spurred him on? When he said he was persecuting believers. Perhaps he would have felt some amount of guilt about it.
Right.
That's always a possibility. And and maybe in private he was studying and hearing what they were saying, and subtly influenced to have this hallucination. Like, we know absolutely nothing about what spurred on Paul's first visionary encounter with Jesus, because I don't think that Acts is.
And you would agree that he had multiple, right? Multiple encounters or multiple visions.
Oh yeah, he was definitely a schizotypical individual.
You
Yeah.
think so?
Ashlyn could talk a bit about this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like first off, what I found is that generally during this time period, they did not treat individuals the same way that we treat people with psychosis or delusions. It would actually have been revered as like this, like a good sign, like given from the gods. And schizotypical or schizotypal would have been kind of would have been functional, which Paul seems to be. It would have fit within this criteria of like having delusions, having hallucinations, but like still being able to like function within society. But I don't see a reason why he couldn't have been, given on how he like writes. There's also a lot of like, if you look at sources like lead, environmental factors that would have been like present within these societies that we know increase the rates of these diagnoses. But I don't know for sure, but it's definitely extremely plausible, especially since it's likely regarded that these were like more stressful times, likely for birthing mothers, and we know that stress can induce these diagnoses as well. So I don't see why not. I think Carrier holds this position.
Yeah, specifically, if you want to know what Carrier says about this, I would look to page 124 on the Historicity of Jesus, element 15. He goes into like what are schizotypical individuals and the way in which that sort of thing was interacted with in the ancient world, and what are the sort of things that could trigger these events and stuff like that, and he goes into great detail about
It's
how
it's schizotypal, by the way.
schizotypal,
He's calling
schizotypal.
it, yeah, it's a personality disorder. It's a cluster
Yeah.
A. It's not technically a psychotic disorder. He says this, and I don't know Paul well enough, but I do know the criterion for it. Like, he's eccentric, he's peculiar, he's suspicious, odd thinking and speaking, bodily illusions, perceptual
Yeah,
experiences.
but doesn't
These
that
are
get
all
into you're gonna say some incoherent stuff that is just not like like deep or rich, or doesn't that get into just very warped or diluted?
no,
No, you're
no, because it's not full blown psychosis. Yeah, like
Okay.
schizotypal are they're
functioning.
yeah, they're really functioning, like I had said. Like, they're much more stable than like you. Okay, so it's really hard because the more recent views, which a lot of people don't understand, is the psychotic and schizophrenia spectrum disorders are classified as spectrum now, where there's a lot of like overlap, and instead of sitting like that you are one, you can actually like shift in this spectrum depending on like factors in your life. So like if you've ever known someone with schizophrenia or schizotypal or schizoaffective, you'll know that sometimes they're perfectly normal almost, and then other times they're not. So it would be within the realm of this diagnosis that this person would be coherent enough to function really well.
Okay. And so so some schizotypal phenomena with Paul, he has this type of condition, and then Peter probably has some grief-induced hallucination. That would be your view, right, Bible guy?
Yeah, I think that's like the most naturalistic explanation for what could have possibly happened.
And do you think James had a separate experience too?
I think no. I think what James is being. I think James is being. It's like in a for example, have you ever been to a charismatic church?
No, I haven't.
If you go to a charismatic church which is extremely fervent, the hysteria of the experience can result in people having hallucinations. Things like rhythmic chanting, fasting, and deep meditation can often result in people undergoing hallucinations. And if James, who was supposedly a brother of Jesus, and would have been interacting with the community surrounding his deceased brother, seeing these experiences, he could have been influenced to engage in it, like the same way that a lot of people engage in glossolalia.
Not hallucinations. He wouldn't have had hallucinations. These wouldn't have been described as such.
Well, he could have possibly. It's always possible he could have induced that, but
No,
he would.
Yeah, perceptual experiences like this wouldn't have been a hallucination because he wouldn't have been categorized under full psychosis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, under full psychosis. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, full psychosis, you would need like to see and hear things that weren't there. Instead, his don't. He doesn't seem to actually have them. His seem more like delusions or like bodily illusions or like perceptual experiences, which are just very close, but there are like major differences.
But then it gets to the question of like what types of hallucinations would they have? And obviously this is very speculative, but
Well, religious delusion is one of the most common. When people have like strong beliefs about like God, I mean, we still see that as one of the most common now. I don't see why that would be any different during what would seemingly be a more tradition and religious time period.
so are you talking about delusions as in they're not seeing anything, they're just kind of in their mind?
Yeah, delusions are like an experience that like doesn't a belief that doesn't coincide with reality. Specifically, you could have a delusion like love is the answer to everything, and like firmly believe that, and like despite all the evidence of being told otherwise, that you still believe that. A hallucination is actually visually seeing things outside
Yes.
your body, and then auditory hallucinations, which would have been more common. Like to see something is the rarest because our vision is the more complicated system. Like if you ever study sensation and perception, like over half the book is generally on just vision, because it is a more complicated system. So it wouldn't, like in what he's describing, according to Carrier, doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be like perceptual experiences. He's talking about like vision, so it doesn't seem like Jesus is coming to him like physically outside and he's physically seeing Jesus. It seems like he's having this like internal perception, and having these feelings inside his body, like this is really real.
Well, maybe for Paul.
Paul does say that Christ was revealed in him.
Yes,
He does
yeah.
say that.
Sure,
Yeah.
but Paul's appearance could have been different. And appearance, the way that word is used, it could be used for an appearance like how God appeared to Moses. It could be used as an appearance like how God appears to people in dreams. But usually, from my understanding of that word that Paul is using, it's usually meaning it's usually about visual sight, if I'm correct about that. When Paul is saying appeared, that's usually talking about visual sight.
Well, Paul claims that Christ, quote, appeared to him last of all, but we know that it was from what Paul always says also in Galatians, that it was an inwards experience. So it doesn't seem that he doesn't have such a narrow understanding of what it means for Christ to, quote, appear to somebody.
Right. So I guess this gets to, so you don't think that, so you think it would be internal for Peter as well, that he would have a similar thing, or do you think he's having?
Well, with the post bereavement hallucinations, they are hallucinations where people do see deceased loved ones. As for how long he saw him,
Do you
or how
all know
detailed,
what clairvoyancy is?
no, I don't.
Okay, so it's a type of like, it's like having a sixth sense, like having information about something that, in like knowing, saying that other people don't have it because it's beyond their senses. That also aligns with what Paul was saying. Like that's what it seems to be. How do I? It's like EST. Do y'all know what ESP is? Extrasensory perception. Yeah, that's what it's essentially a type of that.
Interesting. Well, okay. Well, I mean, if we're talking about Peter, right? If he did have a hallucination, I think we talked about this and we didn't finish that conversation. If he did have
By
a
the way,
hallucination,
By the way, Proof, I'm sending you on Messenger. I'm sending you a paper called "Exploring the Role of Bereavement Hallucinations in Early Christian Resurrection Beliefs," for you to read.
Okay, that's actually very interesting. Thank you for that. I will read that. Probably. But yeah, I mean, the type of hallucination that Peter would have, we know that hallucinations are shaped by one's culture and expectations. I don't know how many of the cases would be, but typically that's the case, right?
Yeah.
And so,
That's why they're not diagnosable generally, because when you look at the DSM-5, where it's more of distress, dysfunction, dangerousness, and deviousness. But it's not uncommon. Like even people nowadays, like where when you take like atypical psychology or abnormal psychology in a clinical sense, they'll teach you about like Latin culture, about seeing a loved one after they have passed. And you're not meant to diagnose that because it's popular among cultural belief, and whether they're seeing or hearing that is not part of clinical practice.
yeah, so William Lane Craig, that's interesting. And I don't know if it's completely tied to exactly what I'm saying, but William Lane Craig makes the argument that Peter would not project a hallucination of a resurrected corpse because that was not in his culture expectations. And not like but like
I
it's
don't think it was a
unlikely he would
corpse.
do that.
I don't think Peter would have necessarily thought that Jesus' body had been raised from the dead. That what the early Christians believed about the resurrection doesn't necessarily entail, like what the Gospels would portray, that Jesus' the same body that had been killed was the same body resurrected, because according to Paul at least, he believed that Jesus was a life-giving spirit.
Yeah, but then I guess it gets back to what we were saying before. Like, why wouldn't they just say that Jesus is, why would they say he's resurrected and that, or versus them saying that he is in heaven or in Abraham's bosom or in Sheol?
Because perhaps these experiences resulted in them seeing him in a room with them.
Right.
If Peter would
That's
have
my
seen him in
point.
the room, he would have thought that he had been raised.
Yeah, if they saw him in a room, they would have thought he had been raised. But the problem I'm seeing is, and this is Craig's point, is that they wouldn't project that type of hallucination in the first place. If him in
Why?
the room. This is not in their culture to project that type.
What
That's just all.
says who? Says who?
Psychology. Psychology would
Why
say
no? Why wouldn't Peter hallucinate his dead rabbi in a room with him and then assume that he'd been raised from the dead?
if he were to
There's nothing. I guess
hallucinate,
there's nothing
yeah,
in Jewish culture that runs contrary to that.
if he were to hallucinate, he would hallucinate him being in heaven, and at that time they knew about Abraham's bosom or in Sheol or something like that. That's likely what they would hallucinate.
So you're making the claim that people experiencing post-bereavement hallucinations in the ancient Israel never would have seen their loved ones in the room with them? How could you possibly know that?
Yeah, I don't think that they, not never, not never. There could be perhaps instances where they do. I'm just saying it's unlikely. It's not it's just
But why?
unlikely.
How are we coming to the conclusion that's unlikely?
I looked at Craig's argument. I looked at the psychology of it. It does make sense to me. It does make sense that if you're going to project a hallucination, it's going to be based on what your culture and your expectations are. And
But there's nothing about
there's
Jewish
nothing in
culture
their
that would
cultural
prohibit this.
expectations where there's going to be an individual resurrected before the corporate resurrection. So why would they project?
Unless they had already had like a belief that Messiah would do this.
Okay, but what's the evidence for that?
We see examples of ancient Israelites thinking that the Messiah would be resurrected from the dead by reading certain passages. For example, ancient Jews may have read Daniel chapter 12, where it says that Michael would rise up. And in the Greek Septuagint, which the early Christians seem to be fond of, the word usage for rise is anastasis. They may have read that this archangelic figure would anastasis, the same word used for resurrection, and believed that this is what we expect from like a messianic figure.
But
What? Hold on. What
yeah.
makes you think that psychology says that they're? Are you saying they're always in line with culture? Because
No, not all. That's why I said perhaps there are instances where that's not true, but typically, yes, they are. Is my
no.
understanding.
This is yeah. That's what makes this is what shifts from typical to atypical, right? I think you're just misreading the language of psychology. So typical just means that when they're in this case, that those aren't incongruent, those are incongruent with normal psychology. Atypical would be the ones that are diagnosable, the ones that cause distress or dysfunction. So yeah, when we have individuals that have bereavement hallucinations that are diagnosable, are the ones that don't share this normal grief process within the culture.
Okay, so.
When they say typical, I would have to see.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. So the thing that I read didn't necessarily. I'm not by typical. I was just meaning usually. I didn't mean it in a psychological sense. I don't know the
No,
thing I
they
read
are.
mentioned.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I don't know the case because I don't know the Bible as well as this. I don't know this area, but yeah, if it's saying typical, that's what I heard. I'm like wondering, are you trying
I'm
to say?
just trying to say usually. Usually, like it would be the case. Like, let me know if you agree with this. Usually, it's the case that you're gonna hallucinate. Your hallucinations are shaped by your culture.
Um, I don't know that we can know that about this population. That's the problem.
We do know that the Jews believed in ghosts that could interact with the living.
It would be very difficult to make that because when it's
Well,
dependent, dependent a lot on whether populations are letting if we are open to this. So I don't know that we can have access to that information because how we kind of come up about this information is studying populations, and you may see more or less. But I would say for a general answer, yes, it would be more so likely that people would openly talk about things that were culturally accepted into the norm. Because why would you go out and tell people that you're having this experience that goes against your culture? I think that would honestly be the better argument in your case, and I'm like kind of handing you an argument because I'm just being honest. Is that it would be weird that they would talk about it if it was anti-culture, if it went against the traditional norms and was odd. So I
Well, yeah,
wouldn't.
that's also a part of it, right? Like
Yeah,
the way they
that
interpret.
would be more weird to me than them having a hallucination that differed from their cultural norms, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it's like it's likely that they didn't have that type of hallucination, and I don't know. I think
It's
that's
not. It would be more unlikely. I don't know about that we can make the first statement, but what would be unlikely is that they would go out and tell people about it, because if it was against their culture or differ from their culture, then they might be considered like ostracized or saying something that could get them harmed, or considered, like weird to their fellow counterparts. But I don't know that we can make the first claim.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's Craig's argument. I'd have to look into more based on the psychology stuff that
By
I
the way,
looked into.
I
It's
sent
crazy.
you the
Yeah.
paper. So if you could, in return,
Yeah.
send me the paper from Bill Craig, and so I
Yes.
can see what he
Yeah,
said.
yeah, I would like to read that and
Yeah,
see.
I can send you. It's not. He didn't write a paper. I have a NIH paper that talks about how hallucinations are shaped by your culture, and then I have a video that I can send you that he talks about this. A few
Absolutely,
videos.
that's fine.
Yeah, and I'll leave it with that. But yeah, I just to leave it off, like I'll investigate this more. But I think it is like reasonable at this point for me to say that, I don't think Peter, if he had a hallucination, it was like Jesus in front of him, like in a corporeal form. And I don't know. I think that's probably likely. But yeah,
Well, if I get once I get done reading this book, I'm currently doing research on it. In the next 6 months, I'm going to make a decision once and for all whether or not I buy the mythicist view or the historicist view, and my whole entire argument could change.
wait, you're debating whether to be a mythicist or not?
Yeah, I'm actually reading through Dr. Carey's book, and I'm going to taking my sweet ass time with it. It's going to take me about 6 months to get through this bad boy.
Yeah, I was looking at Carrier's view a little bit. He thinks that the Gospels are completely mythologized, right? That it's not
Which is not,
usable
which
as
is,
evidence.
yeah, which is not very far from what I already believe. I think that the majority
Yeah.
of the Gospels are already myth.
And yeah, I mean, I also kind of gravitate towards that too. And then he says that at Paul, he doesn't talk about an earthly Jesus. He just talks
Correct.
about a Jesus that always just gives him revelations and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then how have you looked into his arguments for like the born of a
Yeah.
woman, the born of a woman argument? I've heard.
Oh yeah, I actually
Yeah.
I agree with Carrier on the born of a woman
Really?
argument.
Okay.
But even holding the historicity view that when Carrier says that Jesus was born of a woman, born under the law, that this is just an example of what we call in like Jewish writings parallelism, saying the same thing twice in two different ways for emphasis. So when he says born of a woman, the woman he's talking about is the law, because he goes on to give goes on to give the allegory of the two women, one which is the Old Jerusalem, who is the law in the Old Covenant, and then one who is and then one who is the Jerusalem above, and she's the free woman.
Yeah, and then what about okay, yeah, I'd have to look into that a little bit more. And then what about him being crucified, like his view on him being crucified in heaven and stuff?
I mean, that's fine. It's not unique. It wouldn't be unique to Christianity for sure. Like, yeah, we have examples of other like deities being crucified in non-physical places, so it's not too big of a jump.
Okay, that's very interesting. And then
I would point specifically
yeah.
to the descent of Inanna from Babylonian mythology, where Inanna actually descends into the lower depths of the underworld and is there killed and crucified. She's staked to a wall, and she remains dead for 3 days, and then she rises.
Now this one is the hard one, I think. The according to the flesh, like he was a descendant of
Well, it doesn't say descendant in the Greek. It
Okay.
says he was made to be of the seed of David according to the flesh. And Dr.
Right.
Carrier's position on this is that God created a physical body for Jesus to inhabit.
Okay. So he created a physical body for him to, and that's this all happening in heaven, right? So,
Yeah, in the firmament specifically.
man, that one's a little strange, wouldn't you say?
Not if you read the Ascension of Isaiah. I mean, the Ascension of Isaiah, which was a first century Christian work, does present Jesus as descending through the seven heavens. And as he descends through the seven heavens, he does become less and less glorious with each level of the heavens until he gets to the firmament, where he is killed by Satan and his demons. Which kind of lines up with what Paul says about how Christ descended and he was in the form of God, but then he descended, became like a servant. It doesn't necessarily. It's a pretty good argument. I still have reservations due to other things, but those arguments I think it could go either way with Paul's writings.
Well, yeah, I really have to go. But okay, yeah, I'll talk to you more about that. I'm gonna look into some of the flaws in his art,
Oh yeah, absolutely. I encourage that.
and then I'll talk to you about that, and then I'll try to send you over that material, and we'll talk about that again for like a final conversation on this.
Absolutely, love that. As always, Brooke, very good talking to you.
Yeah, man. See you soon.
And I pulled up a couple of studies on how bereavement hallucinations has changed and why I gave an answer to the first question as I don't know that we can know that. Because if it's based on cultural at the time, we're not going to be able to make a framework on how that culture would have been, or how people would have been acting during that time period. I just can't. I can't in good faith say the first one because we've just started studying this type of psychology.
I'm only going to take on one more guess for the night.
Yeah, you're good.
So I got checking on it. Let's see. And they were on earlier. Checking on it. I'm sorry. I've spoken to a lot of people tonight. Just so I can get a reminder. Are you at least 18 years old or older? Christian, and what are your pronouns?
Yes, I'm 18 years and older. I'm Christian, and I'm a he, him, I guess.
All right. What brings you back up?
Yeah. So I just wanted to answer your question. Well, what would you believe in if you don't believe in the Bible?
Anything which is demonstrable.
Sorry, what was that?
Anything that is demonstrable.
What does that mean?
You're able to demonstrate it to be true through evidence. All right.
He said, "Nah, bro."
Okay, well, that was our last guest for the night. I'm gonna try and hang out with my sister for a little bit. So everyone, make sure that if you haven't already, follow Micaiah, follow Ashland, and follow me. And go to my bio, check out my link tree, and you'll find my YouTube channel there as well. And with that, I am the Bible guy, and I will come up with the catchphrases at the end of these later. All right, bye.